Nobody panic. FPL is back. Very, very excited, like a child at a birthday party. It's the day we've all been waiting for. FPL is officially back now. I know we've been creating content for about 2 or 3 weeks, so technically FPL has been back for a while, but FPL is officially back, right? We can log onto the site, we can actually create drafts. I've already seen a few of you in the chat are struggling to get onto the site. Really sorry to hear that, but you're not alone. There are quite a few people that are struggling to get on. I know that FPL will be looking into it right now. I haven't seen anything yet for those that are still struggling. A lot of people are struggling to get their verification emails. I'm sorry. I managed to just get in. I didn't even need a verification email because I updated my details yesterday. So if you updated your details yesterday, you're probably okay. But oh boy, I'm so excited. If you are excited for the stream, drop a like on it. Make sure you subscribe. I can't wait for this. I don't know how long we're going to be streaming for. However long we feel like it, however long you guys are enjoying it for. It might be quite a long stream. I haven't had dinner though. Maybe I'll order dinner on stream. It will be a good one regardless. We're going to be building drafts, looking at some of the players' prices that we didn't know from the price reveals. And I'm also going to be rating some of your drafts as well. And I can't wait. I cannot wait. Make sure to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from as always. Let me know what you're doing right now. Are you eating dinner? Are you just building your drafts? Have you built a draft yet? Don't worry, I will be reviewing some drafts. I'm very excited. Little bit too excited, probably. It tells me that I do love FPL still, and I'm probably doing the right thing by creating FPL content. So here we go. By the way, if you'd like to join my mini league, I'll probably plug it every like 2 seconds. I'm joking. I only could plug it every like 10, 15 minutes. If you'd like to join the mini league, the code is pinned in the chat. It is SV1QTQ. It's pinned in the chat. Just join that. It's just going to be like a normal Raptor mini league. I might create some different mini leagues as well. As you know, if you watched my channel last season, I try and do some stuff with charity as well. So I'm going to try and work out a way that we can involve charity in this mini league and in any leagues we do on the channel as well. But make sure to join that. We're going to try and make it the biggest and best. It's definitely not going to be, but we're going to do our best to try and make it the biggest and best as well. So good to see all of you in the chat. Got Ben in the chat, Matt, Wilson, ultra hyped for the stream. That's what I like to see, the positive vibes. Got Frosty. Andre, of course, my main man. We've got Never Give Up FPL, recently become a member. Very excited to see you in the chat, my man. Or my gal. I always say my man. Maybe not. You never know. Charlie, where is my verification email, guys? As I said, lots of people are struggling to get theirs. I guess you can email FPL. They take a while to respond sometimes. I guess just hope that they come up with a fix and maybe just try again. And hopefully maybe, just obviously check your spam, but I know you guys would have probably done that already. Hi, Raptor. Happy launch day. It is a very happy day indeed. Good evening, Raptor. Good evening. Oh, we've got so many people in the chat. Already 200 people here. I really do appreciate you being here. I know there are some other people streaming, so I understand if you're sort of split between streams at the moment. Absolutely no hard feelings from me at all. Strange that all of the FPL creators can get in, but we can't. No, everyone can. Most people can get in. It's not some sort of exclusive club. It's just unfortunate that some people are struggling to get in, unfortunately. Andy's birthday and FPL drops. Is it a coincidence, or does Andy run FPL? It's an interesting one. How are you, mate? I appreciate you asking that. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing very, very well. Excited, obviously, that FPL's back. We can finally get like fully underway with the content now, which is really good. You got the ID 1. Is there any way you can prove that to me? That's insane. If you manage to get ID number 1, that is pretty impressive. You are officially the quickest FPL manager in the world, or the saddest. I don't mean to insult you, but who knows whether it's the quickest or the saddest. It means you were definitely refreshing the page when the game went live, and you can type very quickly. Dinner stream, that's what I like to hear. Good evening, Ross. Finally, I know FPL Canate, thank God. I was really worried when we didn't get anything at 9, 10, 11, 12. I was starting to get really, really worried. Really worried. Could put it on the screen for those watching back. Yeah, Frosty, I will. I think I've got it on the screen in a second. Evening, mate. Time for a beer, Chinese, and Raptor stream. I might get a takeaway. Guys, let me know in the chat. What takeaway should I order? I'll be honest. I'm normally sort of an Indian guy. I love a good curry. It's a Tuesday, though. Could get Domino's. Not really much of a... I don't mind pizza. Could get a Chinese. Right, we're not here to talk about takeaway. Good to see all of you in the chat. And thank you very much to Hellman. Apparently got ID number 1. Has just become a member as well. I really do appreciate that. That's very kind of you. You had a script ready for the launch. That's how you got ID number 1. Very nice. Very nice. Right, let's just jump into it. Let's just get over there. I haven't picked a team at all. I just auto-picked. I've tried not to look at any of the other prices. I've seen a little bit. I wanted to experience it all live with you guys. So if you haven't yet logged in, log into the site. You can experience it live with me as well. We're going to build a team together. And then, like I said, I will be rating some of your drafts as well. So let's just jump into it. It is very exciting, I must admit. A little bit too exciting. Right. So, first thing, make sure you join my league. SV1 QTQ. It should be just below my name. I don't know how big it's going to be, directly above my head. Right? If you can't read that, it's just SV1 QTQ. I did see that Perisic was 77% owned. Perisic is in the auto. When you auto pick, almost everyone got Perisic. So I think that's why he's so highly owned. I don't think Perisic is going to stay at 77% owned. Right. Let's do it. Let's just jump straight into transfers and have a look at some of these players. So this is my auto pick team. This is not the team that I've selected. So when you're joining, if you want to try and get the best ID you can click auto fill and it just auto fills your team. So I didn't pick any of these players. Don't worry. I've not picked Richarlison and Firmino. Oh, someone's just said in the chat, how do you find your ID? So what you need to do is if you go over to pick team, right? If you're trying to find what your ID is, if you go to pick team, then if you go to game week history, then you can, it's in your URL there. Right, so pick team, game week history, URL. That's the easiest way to do it. Normally, if you want to find it normally, you can do it on pick team or points. Then normally you go into points, game week history that way, but you can do it on pick team as well. And then in the URL, there will be a series of numbers. That is your team ID. So when you log on to any external sites, you type in that team ID there. Also, it can be a tiebreaker if you're trying to win a weekly prize or if you're first in the world at some point at the end of the season. It can be a tiebreaker, your ID, but it's very unlikely to be a proper tiebreaker at any point. What's your ID, Raptor? My ID, it was, one sec, pick team, game week history, 5431. So it was under 10K. It's 4 digits, right? 4 digits was what I wanted. It's just easier to remember and easier to type in as well. But yeah, that was the main reason that I wanted the low ID. I didn't want a low ID to try and flex. It was literally just for ease. Like when you're on livefpl.net and stuff, you type it in. Pink Floyd, love that psychoanalysis pun. I tell you what, Jack, either people don't find it funny, people don't find it cool, or people just don't recognize the pun. But no one ever comments. No one ever comments on my team name. But it is Pink Floyd, based on Sigmund Freud and Pink Floyd. Right, it's the play on words between the famous psychoanalyst or psychotherapist Sigmund Freud and also the band Pink Floyd. There we go. 3 digits are here. All right, Cam, no need to shaft. Right, let's just jump into it. What were some of the key things we were interested in? What were some of the key things that people were interested? Do you know what? I still haven't seen Gabriel Jesus' price. I told you, I've deliberately avoided it. As soon as the site went live, I haven't actually checked it here. So I'm just going to go for it. Going to type in Gabby Jesus. 8 million. 8 million for Gabby Jesus. That is a nice price. That's cheaper than I thought. Wow. That's a serious debate now, isn't it? That's a really serious debate. Do you go for Saka at 8 million or Jesus at 8 million? Obviously, they're in different positions, of course, but at the same price, that throws a spanner in the works, I will admit. His best ever season was 19-20, got 146 points, 120 points last season, but you're expecting him to get more game time at Arsenal than he did at Man City. So I'm expecting 170, 180 points, I'll be completely honest. I do expect him to do quite well. Very interesting price indeed. What other prices were we interested in? I did see that I just checked the £4.5 million midfielders and forwards. There are £4.5 million mids and forwards, right? So, do you know we had that hypothesis that there might be no £4.5 million mids and forwards anymore? There are £4.5 million midfielders. There are 56 £4.5 million midfielders. £4.5 million forwards, there are actually only 9. 9. That's not a lot. So these are the choices, by the way. You should be able to see it just right next to my head, just there. Is Greenwood, Gale, Delap, Scarlett, Archer, Force, Stansfield, Taylor, and Parrott. It's probably Greenwood, right? Greenwood, and this isn't Mason Greenwood. This is Sam Greenwood. Is that his name? Sam Greenwood, the Leeds player. Looks like he's probably going to be the best 4.5. That being said, a few Aston Villa fans have suggested to me that Archer could be the one to watch this season, Cameron Archer. Apparently very, very talented, but as Andre's just said in the chat, he probably won't play. So I think he's unlikely to get a lot of game time unless they pick up a few injuries. Obviously, Danny Ings, Watkins. Who else do Villa have? think Villa have a few decent. Is it just Watkins and Ings? Watkins, Ings, Davis, and Archer. So Archer's potentially fourth in line. So maybe we're less likely to see a lot of Archer, but I don't mind that at all. Do you know what? Let's go through each team. All right, starting with Arsenal. We'll go through each team. Once we've gone through each team and have a bit of a chat about the prices there, we'll start putting a team together. But I'd like to go through and make sure that I haven't missed any prices or anything like that. But you guys can let me know in the chat any players that you're particularly interested in for sure. Hello, Raptor. Hello, Kartik. Good to see you. Right. By the way, I was doing a presentation for my PhD earlier. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, you know. I had a meeting from 11 till 12. I had a presentation, a practice. I'm going to a conference in Italy next week. So I had a practice presentation, but it was over Microsoft Teams. Now, I'm so used to YouTube, right? I still have the same setup looking at the camera. I started my presentation and I realized it was very YouTube-y the way I started. And of course, this is a professional setting. I'm a lecturer and PhD student in sports psychology. So it needs to be a little bit more professional and less like upbeat staring at the camera. And I realized about maybe 45 seconds in, I'd pretty much started it like a YouTube video. So I was looking down the lens. My supervisors must have thought, what the hell is he doing? But it was, hello everyone, FPL Raptor. Don't do that. Right, Arsenal. Keepers. Ramsdale, we know that. We've got Leno at 4.5 and Turner at 4. Ramsdale is going to be the starting keeper. £5 million is a decent price. I just think we know that Mendy is, of course, £5 million. So I think Mendy, if you're going to go for a £5 million keeper, I think you probably go for Mendy ahead of Ramsdale. I can't get into the email any tips. I don't have any tips at the moment. Check your spam. Feel free to email the support, the Premier League support, and they might get back to you. I assume, because so many people are having issues, I assume they're on top of it and they're going to try and work out a solution. Unfortunately, at this stage, if you're not getting the verification email, it's a bit tricky to advise anything, to be honest. Maybe just retry in a couple of hours. Hi guys, FPL Raptor here. Who's excited to get into the game, or is this my real job? Yeah, it was a bit... I had to tamper it down a little bit. What's your profession? I'm a PhD student and I also lecture alongside that as part of the sort of like scholarship. So I lecture and I am a PhD. It's in sports psychology. Anyway, Gabriel, White, Tierney, Tomiyasu, Tavares, Cedric, Holding. Nothing interesting there. They're all £4.5 million or 5. Again, Tomiyasu's probably the pick there. Maybe Gabriel and Tierney at points will be worth £5 million, but I think at the moment, I don't think we want to pay £5 million for them when you can get an Arsenal defender for 4.5. Are there any playing £4 million defenders? Not that I know of yet, but we're going to go through and we'll have a look and I'll ask the chat. There'll be people from that support various teams in the chat and maybe you guys can help me. But at the moment, I don't know of any £4 million. But these sorts of things pop up in pre-season. A lot of the teams haven't even played a pre-season game yet. Some of them have only played one. Hopefully during pre-season, we'll start to get a bit of an inclination as to if there are any £4 million playing defenders. Does anyone know how to set up two-factor authentication? Yes, you go on to your profile, right? You can do it on Premier League or FPL, but I did it on FPL. Go onto my profile. You then click onto account security, and then you go through there. You have to download an app that gives you an authentication code, and then you just click enable, and then you have to type in the code from the app every time you log in. It's not too difficult to do. You can just do it on the official FPL site. Just go onto your account security. It's definitely worth enabling two-factor authentication for sure. Neco Williams is rumoured to go on loan to Forest and is 4 million, decent wing back. Okay, yeah, we'll move on to that. Amati's still 4 million as well. And Pat. Okay, so the chat's saying we might have quite a few 4 million. Excellent. Remind me of that as we're going through the teams, guys. We want to do Arsenal first here. So nothing that interesting with the defence. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? Anytime there's a player that we think we might be interested in, I'll just put them in the team. So from Arsenal, if there's any players we're interested in, I'll chuck them in and then we can replace them as we're going. I quite like that as an idea. Yeah, Patterson. Patterson's popping up a few times in the chat. Interesting. We'll put Patterson in if I want a £4 million defender. I think Tomiyasu might end up being in a draft. Maybe, right? We think Tomiyasu's decent value. It's just whether we want to go with a structure where there are £4.5 million defenders. It might be the case that we don't go with any £4.5 million defenders because the premium defenders are just such fantastic value, aren't they? Right. Moving on to the midfielders. So we know Saka. We know Ødegaard. Smith Rowe. I'm going to go by price, to be honest. Saka, Erdegaard, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Vieira. Pepe at 5.5 could be, I guess, at some point value, but not at the moment. He's getting nowhere near that starting 11. Xhaka, Partey, Maitland-Niles, Nelson, Marquinhos, El Neni, Sambi, Torreira. There's nothing particularly interesting there. You got Torreira and Sambi and El Neni at 4.5. Sambi Lokonga could get some decent playing time. Unlikely at the moment. I don't see anything particularly exciting there. Saka, of course, is the one, right? Last season, 179 points was great. It really was. And with their opening fixtures, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Villa, like it's a really nice opening run, almost to like game week 14. Like realistically, almost to game week 9. If you're going to wildcard around game week 8, game week 9, I think the Arsenal players are going to be fantastic value. Of course they are. Let me just, right. Gabriel Jesus at 8 might be in my team. He might have made his way into my team, to be honest. Because if you guys remember, if you was watching yesterday's stream and the stream before that, I do quite like going for a structure with one mid-price striker. One striker around £7.58 million. At the moment, before we got this Gabriel Jesus price, I was thinking about Callum Wilson at 7.5. But Gabriel Jesus at 8, that's tasty. That's really tasty. I'm going to get him in for now. Let's put him in for now. So for Arsenal, we're currently looking at maybe 2 players at the moment. Tomiyasu and Jesus are the only 2 that really interest me. This isn't to say that I think Jesus is a much better pick than Saka. If you told me, do you know what, Ross, I think just due to the fact that we know what role he's going to play at Arsenal, due to the fact that he played really well last season, got 180 points, I'm going to go with Saka ahead of Jesus. I don't dislike that at all, right? I think that's absolutely fine. I just think Jesus, as the number 9 for Arsenal, assuming that he plays every game ahead of Nketiah and that they don't rotate, I really like that as an option. So let's get those to him for now. And let's move on to the second team, which is Aston Villa. Now, we spoke about Martinez at 5. I don't mind that as an option if you want to go for another £5 million keeper ahead of the likes of Ramsdale, Mendy. I don't mind Martinez, but I think you can probably do better than Martinez at 5 million. Cash is, we spoke about this again with the Aston Villa price fields. I think Cash is probably the £5 million defender you want to go for. If you're going to go for a £5 million defender, it's going to be Matty Cash, right? I think maybe Trippier, as we'll get onto a Newcastle. But I think of all of the £5 million defenders, I think Matty Cash is the one that interests me the most. What do you guys think? Is Matty Cash the £5 million defender that interests you the most from Aston Villa? Not just from Aston Villa. That was a mistake what I said there. Any £5 million. Who are the £5 million defenders that interest you the most? Tierney. You are an Arsenal fan, though. By saying Tierney, I feel like there might be a bit of bias there. We've got Kyle Walker, Doherty. Kyle Walker, Doherty. A lot of people saying Kyle Walker and Doherty. The only issue is with both is rotation. Obviously, Doherty's not 100% confirmed fit for the start of the season as well, but Kyle Walker worries me if they sign Cucurella. I think Kyle Walker and Cucurella will rotate and Cancelo will play in whatever position is free. Trippier's getting a lot of love as well. Yeah, maybe it is Trippier. He's obviously going to be on a lot of set pieces. The only thing that I love about Villa is that I think their opening 3 fixtures are quite nice there. Bournemouth, Everton and Palace. 2 of them are away from home. Villa weren't great away from home last season, but I don't mind that. And even the whole set of opening fixtures, if you can get away with benching your Villa player in 5, 6 and 7, I do really like Villa's opening fixtures here. Maybe we'll leave Cash for now. We'll put him in, actually. We'll put him in, and then I reckon we'll end up replacing him. I don't think I'll be going for Cash and Tomiyasu. So one of those will probably make way at some point. Yeah, Walker and Trippier appear to be the 2 that are getting the most love from everyone. You did your first fantasy draft video. Nice. Good job. I'll try and remember to check that out. Well done on taking the plunge and sorting that out. Cash till game week 4. I like that, Leo. Yeah. Cash till game week 4 sounds like a decent shout. This is the thing. You don't have to keep these players forever, but what you don't want to do is book in too many transfers. We say this at the start. If you say, I'm going to do this transfer in game week 3 and this transfer in game week 4 and this transfer in game week 5, if you start booking in transfers like that, you'll get injuries, you'll get rotation, you'll get surprise benchings, and then you'll be forced to start taking hits quite early on in the season. If Christensen at Leeds was 4.5, I'd have snapped him up so attacking. I agree with that. He's 5, isn't he? We'll discuss Leeds in a sec. I like Christensen. I was a little bit disappointed that Christensen wasn't 4.5. We do have a £4 million defender. Obviously, didn't play any minutes in the last 2 seasons, though, so I'm not particularly interested there. Unless he was on loan. He might have been on loan, to be fair. But probably better £4 million defenders. Yeah, Luke Ayling version 2. I agree, Frosty. Does appear like that. Although he's a little bit more attacking, I think. Midfielders, it's Coutinho and Ramsey are probably going to be the main 2 again. Again, I'm not particularly interested in the Villa defenders. We do have I'm not going to try. I know a lot of Villa fans anyway call him Carney. We've got Carney at 4.5. Chukwuemeka. I went for it. Chukwuemeka. He could be at some point worth it. I guess Nakamba could play a little bit, but of course they have McGinn, they have Ramsey, they've got Douglas Luiz. They've got so many midfielders, Villa, that I just would worry maybe about picking one of them. I know Douglas Luiz was everyone's favourite £4.5 million midfielder before the prices went live. I do wonder if we'll be able to afford a slightly better £4.5 million midfielder. Watkins, Ings, Davis, Archer. We've spoken about that already. Maybe we'll put Archer in for now. I'm not particularly interested in any of the other Villa players for now. Cash and Archer may be the only 2, but even Cash and Archer, I'm not convinced that I'll be going for either, really. Welcome to the stream, by the way, guys. We just hit 500 people watching. If you've not yet joined my mini league, it is pinned. It's above my head. The code is SV1, Q for Queen, T for... What's T in the phonetic alphabet? I don't know where T. QTQ. QTQ. What is T? I don't know the phonetic alphabet. This is the issue. Right. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Aston Villa. Bournemouth are the next team. Bournemouth don't have any £4 million defenders. Tango. Someone said Tiger. I like Tiger as well. Tango or Tiger. So is Q, I don't even know if Q's Queen. Queen, Tango, Queen. There we go. Archer will go out on loan to a championship team. Q is Quebec. It should be Queen, really, shouldn't it? Trent. Yeah, we're going to call it Trent from now on. Trent Alexander-Arnold is T. So it's Q, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Q. Q is Quebec. My streams always end up sidetracking massively. Let's focus back. Bournemouth don't have any £4 million defenders. Interesting. Apparently, this Zamora guy, a lot of people from the championship said that the Watch Championship said he could be one to watch. So that's something to potentially think about, but for now, maybe not. £4.5 million mids. They've only got 1 Bournemouth. And then they've got Solanke. That's a bit disappointing. Bournemouth don't have a massive amount. They don't have a massive amount there, do they? Is the website still down? No, the website's live. You can join. This is FPL. FPL's live. Go. You should be, if you're still getting like a thing, just try and like log out, refresh the page, clear your cache, whatever it is, to try and get back in. What do you think of Rodrigo? We'll do Leeds. We're going. If you've just joined the stream, we're doing it alphabetically. So we've gone through Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. I'm not particularly interested in any of those. Let's move on to Brentford. Raya. Let's get Raya in. I think Raya is the £4.5 million keeper, but again, we might not even be going with a £4.5 million keeper. We might go for a £5 million, probably Mendy, as we'll get onto in Chelsea. But if we go for a 4.5, I do think that Raya's probably the one, to be honest. Tom Sheriff says Brentford, Josh Da Silva, £4.5 million mid, was injured last season, was injured the last couple of seasons. In the Championship 1920 season, he got 10 goals. He will start as the attacking centre mid. Playing style is similar to Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure. Okay, I like that. Maybe we'll make him our £4.5 million mid. Good information, Tom. Are there any prizes if we win the mini league? Yes, there will be prizes. Absolutely. Don't know what yet, but there will be. There will also be prizes for the Raptier members mini league. If you want to become a member, it will be floating around my head how to do so. There's going to be weekly, monthly, and end of season prizes there as well. Hi Ross, why do people tend to wildcard early and not use them to split the season into thirds? You can be a little bit aggressive and jump on price rises and jump on the players that are getting bandwagons early on. It can be a really good way to build up team value and also just get on those trends early. So like last season, getting on the likes of Antonio and Ben Rama when they were doing well, and I think like Calvert-Lewin, a couple of players started the season on absolute fire. You can get on those players early, get the price rises and build up team value quite quickly. I prefer to wait slightly. Wait, you mean I peaked too early winning last season? You did, Frosty. You get nothing for winning last season. Hopefully you win this season's again. That would be fair, wouldn't it? Yeah, you peaked too early, far too early. With the defenders from Brentford, I am slightly interested in multiple of them. Henry, Janssen, even Canos, although he's suspended for the first game week. But these players could potentially be decent value. For now, though, I think I'd rather Raya, just for now. Are we getting unlimited transfers for the World Cup? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'll go and have a look at the official statement. But yes, we are getting unlimited transfers for the game week following the World Cup. It's like a 4 or 5 day period, I think. But yeah, we get unlimited transfers post-World Cup. If it's not a Velociraptor toy prize, then I would be extremely disappointed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna have to be that now. It's gonna have to be something raptor or dinosaur related, absolutely. Jesus Christ, Frost. What the hell? Frosty's just come in with a bloody hell with a £50 donation. That's ridiculous. You are far too kind, my man. Spam hearts in the chat for Frosty. What a lovely man. What a lovely man. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate the support. You did not have to do that, as well as being a member, but I really do appreciate that. Far, far, far too kind. Thank you so much, my man. Right. That's thrown me. The kindness is far too much there. What were we doing? I can't focus now. Brentford. Defenders, not that interested in any of them at the moment because I like Raya. But I think if Raya wasn't in goal, if we do go for Mendy, maybe I'm looking at a Henry, a Janssen, someone like that for 4.5 million. Look at that. Shine all the support for Frosty. I appreciate it. Yeah, look at all the hearts. Love to see it. Midfielders, we just said, so who was it? Was it Ben Sheriff? Was that his name? Let me just get the name of the man that just gave us some really good information. Yeah. Oh, Tom Sheriff. Sorry, it was Tom. Tom's just given us really good information. Apparently, Josh Da Silva might be a good £4.5 million mid. We'll put him in for now. If you want a £4.5 million mid, maybe he's one to keep an eye out on. Apparently, he was injured last season, but could play a really important role for Brentford. I've been saying Bournemouth, haven't I, for Brentford this season. And then it's Tony and Mbermo, really, isn't it? I'm just not that interested in Tony without Ericsson, to be honest. I'm not that interested. I think when you can get Jesus at 8, Wilson at 7.5, or Undav at 5.5, Solanke, Johnson at 6, I'm not as interested in Tony at the moment. And if Clive's watching, we do have a member from New Zealand who's a Brentford fan. I know if you're watching that, you're going to be a little bit upset about me not choosing Tony. But for now, I think there might be slightly better options. Harrison, Reed and Colback are the only playing 4.5 millions. Thank you for that information. Da Silva might, though, if he obviously returns back from his injury and gets put into the starting 11. My team is built, no Liverpool. That's brave. Put a sticker of your face on the Velociraptor toy. I could do that. That could be. Yeah, Vissa. Sorry, I completely forgot. What was his points total last season? It was only 92 points last season. Wissa. I still don't know if it's Wissa or Vissa. Wissa, I think. At 5.5 could be a decent shout. We'll add him in. We'll end up replacing him. But I'd say they're probably the top 3 Brentford players at the moment that I'm particularly interested in. Da Silva, Wissa and Raya. Right, they're the 3. I would never have all 3, don't worry. But we'll replace as we're going through. What web browser are you using? I use Chrome. So maybe it is the Chrome. Maybe if you try Chrome, maybe that'll help for those of you that are struggling. Moda for Brighton or Murder. Yeah, could be FPL Pot Noodle. I've seen a few people talk about that. Oh, you're a Bees fan, Tom. That's why you've said that. Okay, cool. Good to know that you've actually got a bit of credit to what you're saying then. Never give up FPL. Off topic, are multiple scoregasms okay as a nickname? Yeah, I think so. FPL do get a bit funny though. They can ban people for dodgy names, but I don't think scoregasms are. I think you're probably fine there. If you're worried though, just avoid it completely and just go for a safer name. But they have been known to ban people for inappropriate names. They'd normally stop you on the page. They normally don't even let you enter it, but you know, at your own risk. Evening, Ross and everyone. Good to see you, Cheekstar. You haven't missed much. You have having a look at some of the prices that we didn't already know. So at the moment, we've just gone through the first few. We've just done Brentford. Brighton is the next team. says muted. I don't think I'm muted, am I? Am I muted? No. Okay, Frosty. I think it was maybe on your computer. Grealish at 7 million cannot be ignored. We will discuss all of the City mids for sure. Do player price changes between now and the transfer deadline day based on how popular they've been added to teams? No. Only from game week 1 onwards. So you're absolutely fine. You don't have to stress about price changes for now. Your mic cut in and out a couple of times. Let me know if that happens again. I think probably just like a loose cable or something. Right. Brighton. So Sanchez, listen, Sanchez and Raya, I think they're both fine for £4.5 million goalkeepers. I prefer just about Raya, but I don't mind Sanchez at all. I think he's probably second for 4.5 million. And in fact, you can actually rotate them. If you're someone that does like rotating 4.5 million pounds, the fixtures rotate quite well. So, I mean, Brentford just have very good fixtures anyway, but Brighton rotate quite nicely in there. So if you want to rotate Sanchez and Raya, by all means do that. But for me, I'm personally not that interested. I think I'd rather just go for one and then go for a £4 million keeper. I want to see your thoughts on FPL assets from my team, but at this rate, it'll be midnight before we get to West Ham. We'll speed up a little bit. We'll speed up. Right. I'll just put a £4 million in. Still's a good shout because we know he's second in line behind Sanchez. Outside of that, Cucurella is obviously going to go to Man City, it looks like. So Cucurella will be a Manchester City player. I don't mind him there, to be fair. They only have one £4 million defender, and it's Roberts, unlikely to get any game time, so not particularly interested in those. I do like Lamptey as a 4.5. The issue is we're probably just not going to have many £4.5 million mid defenders, are we? Let's be honest. Midfielders. I've seen a lot of love for Trossard. Are you guys interested in Trossard? I'm just not that interested, to be honest. I'm interested. I mean, I'm not particularly interested either, but I'm not that interested in Trossard at 6.5. He's currently selected by 3.3% of the game. Obviously, that will change. I'm not that interested. What are your thoughts on Buendia? I don't know what formation they're going to line up in, and I don't know what players... Like, are they going to play Ings and Watkins again? Are they going to play a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3? If Buendia starts at 6 million, he could be a great option. Wow, ranked number 1 in the world. Amazing stuff. I am joint first in the world for the new season. It's true. I'm not lying there at all. I am joint first in the world. So you might be as well. You might have to check. You might be joint ranked first in the world too. Jacob Moda is apparently another decent £4.5 million midfielder, but he is currently injured. So maybe one to monitor as an option. Who else is going without any Paul? I think you're going to be one of the only people that is going without any Liverpool players. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't think that's going to be particularly popular. Outside of that, Undav is going to be very, very popular, right? It's just whether he starts, though, because obviously they've got Welbeck, they've got Neil Maupay, they've got Undav as well. Is he going to start from the off? Will they start the season with Welbeck, rotating in Maupay? How many minutes is Undav going to get? Obviously, if he gets a lot of minutes, he could be a really good option out. And we spoke about the fact that after game week 1, and I mean, the first 3 aren't ideal for Brentford. But after that, this is a very, very nice run. So maybe you just start the season with him, bench him, and hope that he starts picking up some appearances. Or you could potentially go without Undav. You could go without him for 3 game weeks, wait to see if he's in there starting 11, and then bring him in around game week 4, or potentially even around sort of game week 6, game week 7 for this little run here. I don't think you feel like you need to start the season with Undav, but I do really like him as an option. So that's Brighton. We're going to speed up a little bit because I don't want to spend too long and bore you guys and girls. Chelsea. Mendy might be the one. This is the decision. Let me know in the chat. Let me run a quick poll. Oh, not dollars. Just going to run a poll. I'm interested to see what sort of goalkeeper price you're currently favouring at the moment. Still can't believe that donation, Frosty. You're far too kind to have done that. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, right. So there's a poll in the chat. What keeper price are you currently favouring for your draft? Just all make sure that you vote in the poll. Feel free to say it in the chat as well. Is it £4.5 million? Is it £5 million? Or is it £5.5 million? Very interested to hear your thoughts. I'll leave that poll up for a few minutes. But basically, my big debate at the moment, the two keepers that I'm currently considering, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well, is basically Raya versus Mendy. Now, Mendy's £5 million, but obviously playing for the slightly better defence. And, of course, we're probably expecting him to get more points than Raya. Does it justify the extra £0.5 million spent? What I would say that makes me favour Mendy slightly is it's much easier to go from Mendy to Raya than it is to go from Raya to Mendy. If you start with like a Raya or a Sanchez and you realise quite quickly that Ramsdale, De Gea, Martinez, Mendy, these £5 million keepers are doing very well, it's going to be very difficult with price changes to switch up to a £5 million keeper. It's tricky. Make sure you do vote on that poll, though. This is probably one of the most difficult decisions for me at the moment. Let's get Mendy in, and then if we need the money, we'll go back to Raya. I guess that's a nice way to look at it. Why isn't my app still working? The app wasn't working for a lot of people, but also some people are struggling to get in. I guess you've just got to be a little bit patient with it and give it a little bit of time if you're struggling. I know that's the worst thing to say. Like, if I couldn't get in right now, I'd be gutted. But I guess you've just got to be a little bit patient if you can. Mendy's the one. Chelsea keep a lot of clean sheets. Surely he's worth it in the long run. I do think so. If I pick Mendy, I go with James and Chilwell, maybe. Obviously, you wouldn't go for all of those, to be honest. Is Mahrez first choice right winger? I do believe so, but we'll get on to Man City in a bit. We're going through alphabetically. We're on Chelsea at the moment. We'll get through the other sort of smaller teams a little bit quicker. I don't know why I said John Stones there. What I'm interested in is James or Chilwell. What do you think? Spam in the chat, James or Chilwell. Which are you currently considering out of the two Chelsea fullbacks? How much is Ederson? Ederson is 5.5 million. Raya had a better points per start than Mendy. Did he actually? If Mendy is doing well, would prefer Chilwell and James and don't want the triple up. That's fair enough, FPL Pot Noodle. I don't disagree at all. If you go for James and Chilwell, it's probably overkill going for Mendy as well. But if you're only going for one of them, I quite like Mendy and Chilwell or Mendy and James. Right. Oh, that's a real split between James and Chilwell, isn't it? I think Chilwell's just edging it. Yeah, Chilwell's definitely edging it. We'll put Chilwell in for now. Do you know what? Should we just go with Chilwell and James? Yeah, let's go with Chilwell and James and put Raya back in. Let's do that. Let's bin off Mendy for now. Let's bin off Mendy for now and put Chilwell and James in because I think they're just both going to be very, very popular, aren't they? Midfielders, obviously Mason Mount's going to be a very popular one in there. I like Mason Mount as an option. Outside of that, I'm not really interested at all in any of the Chelsea midfielders, I'll be completely honest. And then for the strikers, they do have Broja. It's going to be weird to see Broja in a Chelsea kit. Right, we saw her playing for Southampton last season. And then Havertz and Werner. I'm not overly interested in any of them at the moment. Chilwell because he loves curry. Does he? Now that you said that, that makes me favour Chilwell because I do love a good curry. Right, Mount, Chilwell and James. We probably won't have all three of those when we sort of fill out the rest of the team, but we're just working through alphabetically at the moment. I do think that, so just to recap, I do think Mendy, James, Chilwell and Mount are the four best players to own from Chelsea at the moment. Right, Everton. I'm not interested in any of them particularly. I'm really sorry for an Everton fan. Just want to see how they perform. Fixtures really aren't that great, to be honest. Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal in the first 7. This run of 4 here really isn't bad. I think the only player that I would maybe be considering is Tarkowski at the moment. At the moment, I think that's probably the only 4.5, the only Everton player that I would probably be considering. Just to end that poll, by the way, it is currently a £4.5 million keeper is currently edging it, so that's why we've gone with Raya for now. Yeah, Gordon's not bad. Oh yeah, Patterson. Here we go. Patterson. This was the £4 million defender that everyone was talking about, right? Perfect. Yeah, Frosty's just said Patterson is one to watch. Nathan Patterson. So apparently, according to my chat, because I genuinely do not have the knowledge here, I'm just reading what the chat's saying. Apparently, he could be replacing Coleman. Now, of course, we're not expecting that to be straight away. Well, I definitely wouldn't anyway. But even if he just gets a few minutes, he's going to be better than most other £4 million defenders. So let's put Patterson in as our £4 million defender. I really like that as an option. Outside of that, I'm not interested. Calvert-Lewin at 8 is way too much. I know people love the look of Gordon at 5.5. I think he's £0.5 million overpriced for me. I'm not particularly interested in Gordon. Right, let's fly through him a bit quicker, Ross. You can do this. Delhi could be a bargain. Yeah, not that interested. Fulham, not that interested, to be honest. We've got potentially Reed, Chalobah, Onoma, maybe some £4.5 million midfielders if we want, but for now, I'm not that interested. And Mitrovic at 6.5, maybe here, right? Game week 8 wildcard. Maybe this is where you go for Mitrovic, but for now, I'm not especially interested in Mitrovic. Oh, the camera, get in the bin with your stupid lagging. I'm still here, don't worry, guys. I'm just resetting my camera. How much was Broja? Broja was 5.5, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, Broja's at 5.5 for Chelsea. Again, if Broja starts to get some game time ahead of Havertz, I mean, it could be fantastic value. Right, alphabetically, the next one is Leeds. There's a few Leeds fans in the chat. Let me know, Leeds fans. Who have you got your eye on? There's a few people asking me to look at Leeds. Who have you currently got your eye on? I'm thinking, again, it was this Christensen everyone was very excited by. I heard a lot of good things. We were hoping he was 4.5. Unfortunately, Christensen's coming at 5. And I think I'd rather go for a slightly better defence. I think they've overpriced him ever so slightly there. And it's slightly frustrating there, to be honest. Slightly frustrating. But I guess we can't complain too much, to be honest. Yeah, my cam overheated, thanks. I love the regulars in the... I don't think it's because it's overheating. It might be because it's overheating. I love the regulars in the stream know straight away just to let me know that the camera's gone funny. It can't be overheating because all I have to do is turn it off for like 15 seconds. It doesn't cool down in 15 seconds enough to... And then it'll be fine for another like hour. Very strange. No one from Leeds, no one from Leeds. Rafinha if he moves to Chelsea. Harrison, Aronson. Talk to me about Aronson, because I've seen a few people recommend Aronson, but I'll be honest, I haven't seen a great deal with his data. I haven't seen a great deal with the eye test stuff, but this Brendan Aronson apparently is very promising. I guess, has he been bought to replace Rafinha? Is he a winger? Let me know. Sorry, I'm not touching Leeds, not interested. Sorry, got to go, wading through the dross for 3/4 of an hour. Okay. Bye, FPL Bobbins. Bobbins, you won't be missed with an attitude like that. we're just chilling. We're vibing. We don't have to rush through this. If you want to watch it back and skip through, you can a bit later. Yeah, Rafinha at 7 million. If he goes to Chelsea, could be really, really nice value. For now, not that interested. Until we know, obviously. He could be going to Barcelona still. Bamford at 7.5, overrated. Greenwood at 4.5. Maybe we go ahead of Archer. I do think Greenwood's probably just about ahead of Archer, to be honest. I think Neto would be a good pick. Yeah, we'll get Neto in for sure. Feel bad for you with all of the hate, Ross. I don't get a lot of hate at all, to be fair. But yeah, a lot of the more followers you get, the more subscribers you get, the more people that are really, really rude, unfortunately. It's one of those, you've just got to smile it off. It's not a personal thing. They're not attacking me personally. They're just angry at life, probably. Leicester. Lots of good £4.5 million mids, right? Defenders, I should say. Ricardo. I was not expecting Ricardo, Pereira, Castagna, basically all of the defenders for Leicester to be £4.5 million. That has surprised me. It really has. I don't know now though who I want, to be honest. Ricardo, Pereira, and Amati's 4.5, by the way. Someone told me he was 4. Amati is 4.5, unfortunately. Castagna maybe could be a decent option, and then Ricardo Pereira. Got 146 points in 2018-19. If we could get close to that, Ricardo Pereira would be great value. 123 points. It's just injury has absolutely plagued him for 2 seasons now. If he can get back fit and back starting for Leicester on a regular basis, I do really like Ricardo Pereira. I'm probably not going to put him in now, though. Midfield-wise, Maddison. I'm actually going to get Maddison in because I do think Maddison's a decent £8 million pick. I maybe haven't given Maddison enough credit. 181 points. And look at this, very consistent, around 130 points. 181 last season. That was with some injuries as well, right? Obviously, he didn't pick up too many injuries. I think it was like 3 or 4 injuries. Decent run of fixtures. They're not terrible at all. I don't mind Maddison as a pick. What do you guys think? Are you considering Maddison at 8 million? Are you considering Maddison at 8 million, or are you not looking there? Are you preferring the other £8 million mids? I'd rather watch you, Focal, and Harry than Let's Talk. Everyone's got their own preferences. That's good to hear that you like watching me, though. I like watching Oscar and Harry as well. I think Oscar's streaming at the moment. Yeah, I love Oscar and Harry to bits. They're both absolutely brilliant YouTubers. If you want some other FPL YouTubers to watch, FPL Focal and FPL Harry. I love both of their channels. Justin, I don't mind Justin, but the thing is, they've got Castagna, Pereira, and Justin. Is Justin going to start ahead of Castagna or Pereira? This is the issue I've got with the Leicester wing-back/fullbacks at the moment. Yes to Maddison. We'll probably get Maddison game week 6 onwards. The thing is, the fixtures aren't bad, though. Brentford and Southampton are decent. You could see him scoring against Arsenal, Chelsea, and United. Going back and forth with you and Oscar at the moment. Yeah, no worries at all. Chat, do you have kind of laggy on the FPL site? Are you saying, is that me, or are you lagging on your site? I don't think mine's lagging too much, to be honest. So I'll put Maddison in. And then Vardy was the final one, right? Vardy at 9.5. We said he's just slightly overpriced, isn't he? I think he's just a little bit... When you can get Gabby Jesus at 8, I think I'd rather the starting striker. I know the pedigree that Jamie Vardy has. I just think he's slightly overpriced. So I think it's just Maddison at the moment at £8 million that I'm considering. Liverpool, here we go. Here we go. This is where we actually start getting some serious players into our draft. We know all of the Liverpool players anyway. The only one was Matip I wanted to... Oh, 6 million for Matip. It's probably correct. He got 170 points last season. It's a little bit not overpriced. It's just a little bit too much to pick him ahead of Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, to be honest, isn't it? Jesus is good value for money. I agree. You think Barnes? My scrolling is a bit laggy. Oh, sorry. I do apologise. It's not that laggy for me. If it's really bad, let me know and I'll try and sort something out. Hopefully it's just a little bit laggy. Not too bad. I know a lot of people are looking at Alisson as well. I just think personally I'd prefer to go for... I just think personally I'd prefer to go for Edison if I'm going to go for a premium, or just go for like Mendy or Araya instead, to be honest. Alex ND's just become a member. Thank you very much. That's the second person that's become a member on this stream. I really do appreciate the support. Like I said, if you do want to become a member, check it out above my head. You can find out how to become a member if you want to support the channel or if you want to get some perks in return. Right, let's get Trent in. Screw it. Let's just get started with building a serious draft here. Sorry, Matty Cash. You are getting replaced. And let's get Salah in, and let's get Diaz in. Like I said, at the moment, I'm just about preferring Diaz to Robertson. It's not that I dislike Robertson at all. I think Robertson could quite easily be in my Game Week 1 draft. Just at the moment, I'm just about leaning towards Diaz personally. What are you guys thinking? Let me run a poll for that at the moment. I've just put a poll in the chat, guys, for Diaz versus Robertson. Diaz at 8 million, Robertson at 7. Who are you currently preferring for that third Liverpool spot? I know some people will be going for both. Maybe not having Trent, not having Salah, but I think most people will lock in Trent and Salah, and then it's that third Liverpool spot, either Robertson or Diaz. So busy with work, I have a 5-digit ID. That's all right. It's not the end of the world, to be honest. Right, Diaz, I'm thinking. And it's going to be instead of Vissa for now. What the fuck is... Oh, God, I just sworn again. WTF is the ID about? apologies for swearing. I know this is a family-friendly stream. I don't swear a lot in real life anyway. What is the ID about? The ID is essentially, it's when you go onto like livefpl.net, when you go onto fpl.team, you have to type in your ID. That's your specific thing that it links your team to. The shorter that ID is, the less you have to remember and the quicker it is to type in. So if I only have to type in 3 digits, I only have to remember 3 digits. It's a lot easier there. And the other reason is in like weekly prizes, you know, you get weekly prizes for finishing first, second, third, etc. And you also can win FPL. The first tiebreaker, when you're going for those weekly prizes and you're trying to win FPL, the first tiebreaker is the amount of transfers you've made. After the amount of transfers, if you've both made 80 transfers at the end of the season, it then goes to team ID. Right? So that's why people are caring about ID. Mainly it's just easy. And also it's a bit of a flex. I've got a low team ID. It's not a particularly great flex, to be honest. It just says that you were sat there refreshing the page. What ID did you get? Mine was like 5,000 and something. It was around 5431, I think, or something like that. It was relatively easy to remember. Demonetized. Oh, well. I don't care if I'm demonetized. Frosty gave me £50. that more than pays for the stream. Right, let's move on. Have you already figured out how to extract the new FPL graphics yet? I don't do any of that stuff. I make my own graphics. So I don't know how to do that, no. Where do we find these digits? If you go on to pick team, game week history, you can get your ID there. It's in the URL. You find the few digits in the URL. How do you make the graphics? This is the FPL site. I make my own graphics on Photoshop. Right, sorry. Let's move on to... We've done Liverpool. Let's move on to Man City. From Man City, I probably want Cancelo in there, right? £8 million midfield is difficult for me since I had 4 premium defenders, or else I must go very weak subs. Yep. It is true. If you go premium defense and 2 premiums, then 8 million, you just can't do it all. You can't do it all. Who is the best £8 million midfield? That's a great question, Ben. Can I save that for 10 minutes? I'm going to go through all the teams, then that's the specific thing I want to look at. You still can't find it. You definitely can. If you go on to pick your team, then go on to your game week history. In your URL, there will be some numbers in your URL. Do you use legitimate Photoshop or loophole Photoshop? I pay for Adobe Photoshop. It's the official Photoshop. Right. So I want Cancelo in there for now. Let's get Cancelo in. And I'll be honest, I want Foden at the moment. At the moment, Foden is interesting to me. What other Man City players are we interested by? Tavares or Tomiyasu, chat? Tavares is a left back, Tomiyasu is a right back. Tavares won't start ahead of Tierney. I think Diaz has to be the best 8 million. I do think so, but yeah, we'll move. You can see I've got... You won't get demonetized for sure. I show Speed set off fireworks inside his room on stream, and the fire brigade was called, and he's still fine. I did see that. That was absolutely mental. That was ridiculous. Who sets off fireworks in their house, for goodness sake? Yeah, Tavares isn't going to play, so it's going to be Tomiyasu if you're going for a £4.5 million. You just forgot Tierney existed. I forgot Tierney existed. He was so injury prone, wasn't he? Unless Tierney is injured, which he probably is, to be fair. I'll end that poll, by the way, for Diaz versus Robertson. Diaz is definitely being favoured at the moment in comparison to Robertson. Thoughts on Awoniyi? That's the new Nottingham Forest striker. I don't know a lot about him, but apparently he could be absolutely brilliant. He could be brilliant. Speed is an absolute menace. Yeah, he doesn't really care what he does or says, to be fair. That's probably the correct way to be. He's being himself. Got Nathan Bacon in the chat. Good to see you, my man. Triple Captain Bamford or We Riot. You can do that on your own channel. You can do that on your own channel, for sure. Diaz is amazing value. Just can't skip him now. What other Man City players are we thinking? What other Man City players are we thinking? I wonder if Man City have signed any good players this summer that we might want to pick in our teams. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Right, let's get him in. 11.5 is good value, right? 11.5, I do really like it. I need to stop doing that because it takes me off the team. 11.5, like I said, if Haaland was 12, I still probably would have done it. 12.5 makes you think. 11.5, you just got to do it, haven't you, I think? You still think Kane is the better pick from the two? I have seen in every draft you've sent me, Kane has been in there. Mahrez looks interesting with Jesus and Sterling on. Yeah, it's Mahrez or Foden, really, isn't it? And Grealish. Yeah, good point. People wanted to discuss Grealish. So, Man City, they're going to play Haaland through the middle, right? So, for the wing spots, they've got... Sterling's going to move, right? So, Mahrez, Foden, Grealish. Bernardo can play on the wing, and then Alvarez can play on the wing, right? So, they've got maybe 5 options, but with respect to out-and-out wingers, it's Foden, Mahrez, and Grealish. They've only really got 3. I know Bernardo Silva can play on the wing, and so can Alvarez. Grealish might get a good chunk of game time. This is why I want Foden, though, right? Because Foden was fairly nailed last season. Foden, how many minutes did Foden play? Foden played 2,100 minutes last season when they had Sterling and they had Gabriel Jesus. If you think that they've now sold those 2 players, Sterling hasn't been 100% sold, but Jesus has, Sterling's likely to be sold. Surely Foden's going to be extremely nailed on. I do think this could be Foden's breakout season. I know he only got 130 points in the last 2. Yeah, Palmer. Yeah, I guess Palmer could play that. Pepper said he'll give Palmer a lot more game time. Maybe then. Maybe. We've just got another person become a member as well. Reefa, 3rd member on stream. Thank you very much, Reefa. I do appreciate that. Have you been a member before, Reefa? Your name rings a bell. Maybe you've just been in the chat a lot. I appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you very much. Is Mahrez still on penalties? No, Mahrez is not still on penalties. He is not. Haaland will be on penalties. Haaland took penalties for Borussia Dortmund very, very well indeed. And I know Mahrez is a great penalty taker. He's not going to take him ahead of Haaland. And he's got to be on the pitch first, hasn't he? Erling Haaland. Don't fall into the hole, Raptor. What hole's that? What hole am I falling into? Is this the Man City hole? Hello, Raptor lad. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you checking in on me. Right. Man United. Right, so the real question is, how do I fit 5 Manchester United players into my team? Because it's very clear to me, Manchester United are going to win the league this year. So I think if you predict who's going to win the league, and it's very clearly going to be Manchester United winning the league, surely we want as many Manchester... I can't even say it with a straight face. Any Manchester... So if you're new to my channel and new to my stream, by the way, I am a Manchester United fan, but I am not silly enough to believe that we are going to even get close. We probably won't even get close to the top 4, to be honest. But there are definitely some decent Manchester United picks there. There really are. De Gea could be a good £5 million keeper. We do have a few decent defenders in here. Brandon Williams could get some game time. I'm interested what price Malacia comes in at. I'm assuming Malacia will come in at 5 million. If Malacia comes in at 4.5 million, could be a great option. We only signed him today, so could be a great shout. Win the league, gang. We'll be lucky to get top 6. Yeah. I think probably 5th or 6th is the best we can hope for. Sancho or Rashford, if not considering price. Without price, Sancho is going to be the one to own for me. He's just more nailed on. But if Ronaldo leaves, we spoke about this on the stream yesterday. If Ronaldo does indeed leave, it's going to be either Martial. Oh, Martial. Sorry. I want to see Martial's price. 7 mil. It's going to be Martial or Rashford playing through the middle, probably rotating. I don't think we'll have time or the money to sign another striker if Ronaldo leaves. So I think if Ronaldo does leave, it's going to be probably Tony Gloves, ice cold Martial. I'll be honest, I am a massive Anthony Martial fan. His attitude's not great at points, but with respect to actual talent, Martial is an excellent footballer. In 2019-20, Martial got a 200-point season. I think people forget this. This season here, he was on fire. 200 points. If he can get anything close to that at 7 million, could be really good value. Martial and Grealish both at 7 mil. Ones to keep an eye on. We'll have to see what happens pre-season, though. I'm just a big Martial fanboy, though. And then other options. Andreas Pereira. There is rumours that Andreas Pereira could be joining Fulham. If Andreas Pereira does join Fulham, he's an absolute talent. He loves a shot from outside the box. He will be on set pieces for Fulham, I think. He's absolutely excellent at corners, excellent at free kicks as well. I do genuinely think Andreas Pereira could be a good £4.5 million shout, but we'll have to wait and see if he does get the move to Fulham first. Van der Beek at 5.5, Rashford at 6.5. I do like Sancho. Sancho will be the one for me. If you could choose any Manchester United player, in my opinion, it will be Sancho. There's just so many good £8 million mids that I don't know if I can justify putting Sancho in. Fulham have Wilson for set pieces. They do have Wilson for set pieces. That being said, Andreas Pereira is still an excellent set piece taker. Really, truly. That was one of the only things he could do correctly. I'm not trying to insult him. One of the only things he did well for us was he's taking of free kicks and he's taking of corners. Mac makes a great point. Eriksen. What price is Eriksen coming in at? What price is Eriksen going to come in at? Let me know in the chat. What price do you think Eriksen will come in at? I think Eriksen will come in at 6 mil. He could come in at the same price as Van der Beek at 5.5. There's no reason to price him above Van der Beek. Yeah, I know Eriksen's a free agent. That's why we can't look. But what price is he going to come in at? There's no way he's coming in above Rashford. No way. 5.5 to 6.5, I'd say. What we saying in the chat? 7.5. There's no way. Is he going to start? I don't know. 6, 6.5, 6, 5.5. Yeah, maybe to be a bit broader, 5.5 to 7, but I think 6 would be a really nice price for Eriksen, 6 million. I'd definitely consider him. So I was chatting to Pranil a couple of days ago about Eriksen. We think that there's a small chance that Bruno Fernandes will play a similar role. If you guys watched Ajax, Tadic was never really a winger. Tadic was more of a central player, quite slow in a similar way to Bruno. Tadic played as almost like a right winger, but he played inverted. So he played as like an advanced playmaker / right winger. We could shift Bruno out wide to that right wing spot. Eriksen could start through the middle for us and then rotate with Donny van der Beek. So what we would be playing is like a 4-2-3-1-ish, but Bruno Fernandes plays out on that sort of right side, coming inside, and then Eriksen plays through the centre. If that's the case, you think Eriksen will do that role? Yeah, I think Eriksen could be our starting central attacking midfielder. If that is the case, maybe. I don't think Eriksen will start if De Jong joins. They can play completely different positions, Rafael. De Jong will play in the pivot. De Jong plays like a number 6 alongside a CDM. So if you imagine a formation, De Jong will play alongside Fred or McTominay, unfortunately, as our CDM. And then we're going to play like a 3. So Eriksen will play through the middle, Bruno will play out on the right, and then Sancho out on the left, and then there'll be whoever we're playing through the centre. There's also a small chance that Bruno plays in a false 9 position as well. Sorry, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I did just want to talk about them for a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll see in pre-season. You're right, John. You're right. Be hilarious if it ends up being a 4-2-2-2 and it slaps. It won't be a 4-2-2-2, I don't think. It will be like a 4-3-3/4-2-3-1-ish formation, right? He does play with 2 CDMs, though, Ten Hag. So it's going to be De Jong if we sign him alongside probably Fred. Bruno in the false 9 could be a must-have. Yeah, if he plays in the false 9, definitely. What's your thoughts on Foden's game time? If you go back 10 minutes in the stream, we just talked about Foden. I think he's going to play a lot of minutes this season. Eriksen played as a right wing at Spurs. He did, but that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? What do you think about Jesus' price? I've got him in the team. I think 8 million is a really good price for Jesus. Is Rashford nailed? No, Rashford is not nailed. I don't have any Manchester United players in my team. I don't think I can for now. Maybe we'll come back to Manchester United. Newcastle, we said Trippier, right? Trippier's the only one that I'm particularly interested in. But they are nice fixtures though, aren't they? Trippier might be the best £5 million defender, along with Matty Cash, right? If you're going for a £5 million defender, maybe it's Trippier, maybe it's Cash. What do you think of having Ødegaard? His underlying data is so bad. He doesn't shoot. Ødegaard just never shoots. I've just realised you have minus 4.5. Yeah. Yeah, the team is over budget. I'm just putting in... We're going through the teams alphabetically. I'm putting in players. Once we've gone through all of the teams, I'll sort the team out. For sure. We're forgetting Son. We're going to get onto Spurs. What is Rashford not nailed? No, Rashford's not nailed. He's not nailed. Alanga. We've got Martial. Martial, Alanga, and Rashford and Sancho will all play. Assuming if we keep Ronaldo, they'll all play on the wings. Can you go faster, please? Yeah, sure. Trippier is the only player I'd consider here at the moment. I'm not putting Trippier in. Botman could be decent at 4.5 million. We were interested to see what price he came in at. He's coming at 4.5 million. I think that's a very, very good price for Botman. If you want to save a little bit of money on Trippier and you still want to go with a Newcastle defender, I would recommend putting Sven Botman in as your starting. I prefer Botman to Dan Burn. I think Botman will get at least 2 or 3 attacking returns this season. So Botman's the one, in my opinion, if you're going 4.5. Midfielders, I'm not really that interested in any of them. Murphy could be a decent shout at 4.5. Again, scream if you want to go faster. Blah, 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 blah. Murphy could be good at 4.5. And then Wilson, right? If I don't go Gabriel Jesus, if I go back to my team here, if I don't go Gabriel Jesus, I probably will go Wilson. Wilson is probably my favourite £7.5 million striker at the moment. So from Newcastle, just to recap, I'm trying to fly through it a bit quicker. I realise I'm taking a while. I like all of the Newcastle players really, but Trippier, maybe Murphy at 4.5, and then Wilson at 7.5. Nottingham Forest, is their kit not in the game? Their kit's not in the game. I don't mind. Maybe it should be, shouldn't it? Why is their kit not loading? God knows. It's pretty much their front line, really. It's Johnson and Awonyi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, hopefully. Apparently, he came through the Liverpool youth system, and he's just signed from Hertha Berlin. I think he was 4th in the top scorers last season in the Bundesliga for Hertha Berlin. So he could be a really good shout. If you're looking for a £6 million forward, I think Brennan Johnson and Awonyi could probably be the best 2 options there for you. Right? Outside of that, I'm not that interested by any of the Nottingham Forest players. Apologies. Again, Dean Henderson could be a decent shout, but yeah, again, not especially interested. You could even see Bryce Samba getting some game time as well. Sorry, Forest fans. I know there's a lot of excitement for being in the Premier League. I live in Nottingham, by the way, so I appreciate... I was at Union Berlin. Apologies. I've just looked at the chat. There you go. That shows how much Bundesliga I watch. So he's from Union Berlin, Awonyi. From Southampton, not that interested in many of them, to be honest. Maybe Carl Walker-Peters at some point. Outside of that, really not interested in any of them. Let's skip over Southampton. I'm not going to delay for the sake of it. Spurs. What do we do about Spurs? Help me, guys, because I really want Son or Kane. It's just going to have to be instead of Haaland, and I'm not sure. Why is every player 55 to 60% owned? It's because a lot of people auto-pick their teams. A lot of people auto-pick their teams. So, listen, I want Spurs players in my team, right? I want Son, I want Kane, I want Kulusevski, but can we afford to get them in there? Can we afford it? I don't think we can. This is the issue. Perisic is old. Do we want Perisic? My issue with Perisic is that they've still got Sessegnon to rotate with. There's still got... At the moment, they've still got Reguilon, right? They've got a few players. And the thing is, we could even see Davis play out at left wing back as well. So, FPL Focal Raid, welcome. Thank you very much, Oscar. If you're here, Oscar, I really appreciate that. If you're coming over from Oscar's stream, welcome. Hopefully this isn't your first time. If it is, welcome to my channel. We are just going through the teams at the moment. We've almost gone through the teams alphabetically, and then we're going to sort out this draft. I know the team doesn't look great at the moment if you've just come over, but we will sort out the draft in 2 seconds. Yeah, I don't know that Perisic is nailed. This is my issue. With Sessegnon, with Reguilon, with Davis potentially being able to play out there, how nailed is Perisic? Would you guys rather not just go for Chilwell and James? If you can spare a slot, why would you not go Chilwell and James? I don't know. Maybe I'm overlooking Perisic slightly. For now, I don't think I want Perisic in my team. Then we've obviously got Kulusevski, right, at £8 million. We've got Son at 12, and we've got Kane at 11.5. Realistically, I think the only player that potentially is going to get in my team is Harry Kane. Maybe Kane is the play. Maybe you start with Kane and then move to Haaland. Oh, can I do that to myself? Can I go with Kane over Haaland? What do you guys think? Let me know. Spam in the chat. Kane or Haaland? Who are you currently favouring for your premium striker slot? Are you thinking about going for Harry Kane ahead of instead of Haaland, and then maybe moving to Haaland after that? If you are joining from Oscar's stream, like I said, if you're coming over a little bit later, welcome. I do appreciate Oscar sending over you guys. And I was in Oscar's stream for a while, and I know he's absolutely class streams. So welcome. Fairly similar style to Oscar, but maybe slightly different. I talk too quickly. That's the only difference here. Yeah, what we saying in the chat? Kane. There's a lot of Kane love. Wow. Let me put a poll then. I thought it would be a lot closer than that. Bloody hell. Let's have a look. Wowza, I was not expecting it to be that close. Just seen Oscar is in the chat. Good to see you, my man. I just said if you didn't catch it, thank you so much for sending your viewers over. We might hit 1,000. Oscar, we were on about 800. So there's already an extra 120 people have come over from your stream. So maybe we'll hit 1,000. That would be cool. If you guys want to share this stream with other people, please do. It would be absolutely awesome to hit 1,000 in a pre-season stream. That would be very, very cool indeed. Who do you prefer, Kane or Haaland? Right, I've just put a poll. If you are one of the 900 people watching live, thank you very much. Make sure that you vote in the poll. Who do you prefer? Kane, 11.5, Haaland, 11.5. Obviously, both the same price. So there's not a difference to say, oh, one's worth it because they're cheaper or more expensive. It purely comes down to who do you favour. Just to bring the fixtures up for you guys. This is City's fixtures. So West Ham, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Palace, Forest, Villa, Tottenham. Oh, that's a nice run, isn't it? It's a really nice run of fixtures. And then Spurs, obviously their fixtures is Southampton, Chelsea, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Fulham, City. I think City's fixtures are slightly better, but I don't think there's a massive amount between them. Yeah, this is for your Game Week 1 team. Who do you prefer? Can we do a poll, Nunez versus Jesus? We can do. I think Darwin's going to lose that one, though. I think it'll be Jesus. You have both. I have seen a few drafts with both Kane and Haaland. That could be something to have a look at for sure. How about both? Yeah, definitely both. DJ Hammer correctly says, or maybe slightly correctly says, never book in any transfers. I think you want to avoid trying to book in too many transfers. Kane always has a slow start. This is true. There is always this Kane doesn't score in August. Kane doesn't play well in August. So maybe you go for Haaland. I don't know, to be honest. I think at the moment I prefer Haaland personally. Let's move on to the final couple of teams then. Like I said, if you just joined the stream, we're going through alphabetically. We're on the final two teams, and then I'm going to sort out the draft and build the team that I'm currently thinking about. From West Ham, again, I'm not that interested in anyone, to be perfectly honest. There's no one here that I'm overly interested in. I think Antonio and Bowen could be value at various points. I think Sofao, if he nails down the right wing-back slot, could be. These three fixtures here are quite nice. And then from game week 8 onwards, their fixtures get a little bit better for West Ham. So I don't mind Sofao at points, but for me, West Ham, just due to their opening fixtures, Tottenham, Chelsea, and City in the first 6, I think you can probably do slightly better. Son in the chat, not Heung-min Son, another Son, asked Fornals. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of love for Fornals at 5.5. Picked up 120 points-ish in the last 2 seasons. What do you guys think? Are there any of those West Ham midfielders that you're currently considering? Bowen, Benrahma, Lanzini, Souček, Fornals, Vlasic, Rice? Reefer says, game week 2, we should roll the transfer. Yeah, if possible, you don't want to book in a transfer for game week 2. And if you can roll your transfer to game week 3, what you get is you get 2 game weeks worth of data, and then you've got 2 free transfers going into game week 3. So I don't think you want to try and start booking in transfers for game week 2 and game week 3. I think what you want to do is build the best team you can for the first 4 to 6 weeks and hope that you don't need to make any false transfers. And then you have the luxury of a few free transfers there. Lots of players will play their part, just not at the start. Yep. Bowen, when he is worth his price tag, I agree. Fornals is your first sub. I don't mind that, Matt. Benrahma, says Mac. Benrahma started the season really well last season. Fornals, Lanzini is very interesting, especially if he's playing and he's on pens, not game week 1, though. I agree. Maybe West Ham's a bit of a wait and see. Final team, then, of going through alphabetically. Sorry it took so long to do. I just thought it would be nice to make sure we've covered all of the players. Is Wolves. Now, I am interested in Wolves. I'm interested in Neto, and I'm interested in potentially one of their defenders, Johnny, Ait Nuri, maybe Kilman. So let's do that then. Let's get Neto in for... Oh, why'd you keep doing that, Ross, you muppet? Let's get Neto in. People are asking, what's the love for Neto about? Why is everyone so keen on Neto? Neto's got pretty good underlying data, and he's £5.5 million, and the fixtures are nice for Wolves. It's as simple as that. Leeds and Fulham in the opening two, Bournemouth and Southampton in there as well. It's a decent set of opening fixtures. He's got pretty good underlying data, and I don't think you can get much better for 5.5. I don't think anyone's saying he's going to be a world beater, but at that price, I'm not necessarily sure that you can do that much better. Let me know what other £5.5 million mids you prefer. There's Gordon, there's Wissa. There are a few other 5.5s, but I do really like Neto. When are you rating our drafts? Probably in about 15, 20 minutes, I'll start rating drafts. I'm going to finish doing this. I'm going to tidy up my draft, and then I'm probably going to put out a tweet, and I'll rate a few of your drafts as well. We'll probably stream for around 2 hours, maybe 2.5. I need to order some food at some point, though. I still haven't decided whether I'm getting a Chinese or an Indian. So there we go. I want Neto in there, and maybe we get Johnny in. Elise. Yeah, I like Elise as an option. Did we look at Palace players? I feel like we skipped over Palace. Yeah, did we skip over Palace? Yeah, we didn't look at Palace, but yeah, I like Elise as a £5.5 million mid for sure. Right, I think we're good then. Right, we've looked at the teams. I'm 2 million over budget with my current team. Where do I find 2 million? Everyone's saying Chinese in the chat. If you've just joined, we're not talking. It must be strange. I've just spoken about the fact that I don't know what to have for dinner. So there we go. Bruno G at 6 million is a steal. Maybe. Fish and chips. Yeah, I could get fish and chips, to be fair. It's not a bad shout. Can you mention the best teams to target for the first 2 weeks? Yeah, we'll do that in a bit. We're just looking at players at the moment, but Wolves are a good team to target. Obviously, Liverpool, Arsenal, City as well. Just go on to the fixtures and look at teams with good fixtures for the first 2. I think first 2 might be a little bit close-minded anyway, to be honest. Right. Help me find 2 million. Diaz or Foden to Martinelli. I don't want to do that, really. Cancelo down to Walker works. Or Laporte in there. Then we need to find 1 million. Yeah, it is. It's between Foden and Jesus, isn't it? Maybe Grealish. Who is the best £8 million mid? Thank you for re-asking that question, Ben. Let's have a look. This is a great question. So we're going to order by price. Go for 8 million. Who do you believe in the chat is the best £8 million midfielder? We've got Saka, Mount, Maddison, Diaz, Mahrez, Foden, and Kulusevski. There are 7 £8 million mids. Maybe put 2 down, because I think Diaz is going to be everyone's favourite, right? Put a poll. Yeah, the issue with a poll is that you can only get 4 in a poll. We could do some sort of like World Cup sort of format, cup knockout, where we do like a couple of polls for these £8 million mids. Would you guys like to see that, or do you want to we can just spam it in the chat, to be fair. I'm seeing a lot of Diaz. I'm seeing a lot of love for Saka. I guess I could go for Saka rather than Jesus. Do you know what? I'm going to do a poll for that. I'm going to do a poll for that, absolutely. For Jesus versus Saka. Oh, you want to do a poll? Okay, we'll do the poll. We'll do the poll. I need to randomize the names, though, don't I, really? Wait, I want to do this poll first. I'll maybe do that poll in a second. Is Saka still on penalties? Is he? Mohammed says Saka's still on pens. Are we sure that Jesus won't take them off him? Or even Martinelli. Martinelli took a penalty at the end of last season. Jeez, we have 1,000 people in the chat. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure to drop a like on the stream as well if you're one of the new people that are here. Right, I've just dropped a poll in the chat. Jesus or Saka, 8 million. Who do you prefer? Jesus is awful at pens. Let me confirm this, by the way. Make transfers. That's a lot of transfers there. I hate confirming I feel like I'm about to take a massive hit. It's not even game week 1 yet. I'm like, confirm transfers. Like, am I about to take a massive hit? Let's put the team together the way it is and just have a look what it looks like on this screen here. It's a bit weak on the bench. I don't like how weak that is on the bench, I'll be honest. Okay, that poll's actually a little bit closer. I didn't think it would go that way, actually. Vote in the poll, guys. If you wanted 1,000. Jesus versus Saka. Jesus has currently got 64% of the votes. I did not expect Jesus to be that overwhelmingly... You guys to be... Oh, my bloody camera. Get in the bin, camera. I did not expect Jesus to be that massively favoured. Does anyone think the bench looks really bad this season? Is it just me? That bench graphic looks a bit naff. I don't like that at all. Let's get the captaincy sorted as well. Put the vice on Erling Haaland. You still can't sign up for some reason. I'm really sorry to hear that. A lot of people are actually struggling. Struggling. Raptors Ghost. Yeah, I know. The camera will come back on in about 20 seconds. We'll be back. Don't ask me why. You still can't find your ID. You go onto pick team. You then click on game week history. And then it's in your URL at the top. If you can't find it, try and go onto Chrome. Because I use Chrome and it works absolutely fine. Right, let's get my camera back on. What do we think of this team so far? What changes need to be made? It's by no means a polished... Oh, I need to get the keeper in for Raya. Thank you for letting me know in the chat. Yeah, Raya in goal. Thanks, chat. I appreciate that. I think that's a little bit weak on the bench. Not. I've just seen someone in the chat. What did they put? That was good. The new graphics look like a rainbow's puked. It's not even that. It's not even that part for me. It's this bench section. It just looks a bit naff. Perisic has to be in there. Horrendously similar to my draft. Think it's not far off the template. Yeah, that's true. Why do people need their ID? To access sites like Live FPL and FPL.team, you need your draft. Oh, you need your ID, sorry. I'm trying to multitask here. Right. There's some things I don't like about this team, I'll be completely honest. The first thing I don't like about it is I'm not sure about Grealish. I'll be honest. To start the season, I'm not sure about Grealish. I'm also want to upgrade the bench a little bit. That would mean having to go down to like a £6 million mid here. What £6 million mids? We've got Martinelli. Is Martinelli nailed? He's not, is he? This is the issue we face in that maybe it's Jesus. Maybe Jesus has got to make way. Jesus is 8 million. Wow, he's in. Yeah, 8 million is pretty cheap, isn't it? You think Bruno G at 6 million? Maybe. Or maybe we downgrade one of Chilwell and James. Maybe we only go for one. And go for like Trippier in there instead. Oh. Can you change the jerseys? What do you mean, mate? What do you mean, can I change the journeys? Arsenal defender. Yeah, maybe an Arsenal defender we get in there. What do you think about that team? That's a nice team. little bit stronger in the starting 11. I managed to get Foden in there. So we've got two £8 million mids. Now, just to confirm, because I genuinely think this is good advice. Right? You guys might not think so. If we just go back to the midfielders, sorry if it's a bit laggy, by the way. I think my computer's dying from the amount of back and forth I'm doing. If we go to midfield and then go to price by 8 million, as I just said, if you've just joined, we've got Saka, Mount, Maddison, Diaz, Mahrez, Foden, Kulusevski. We've got 7 £8 million midfielders. I genuinely believe that there will be brilliant value in switching those £8 million midfielders around. So I think like maybe you start the season with Foden and Diaz, then maybe you switch to Maddison in game week 6. If you've only got one £8 million midfielder, and say it's Diaz, and Diaz is doing really well, you're going to struggle to switch off of that one £8 million. I genuinely do believe that the best structure for your team will be one with two £8 million mids. I genuinely believe that. And I just think that will allow you to be as flexible as possible with your team. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get a little bit of money invested into the defense. I'm trying to get some good price points here. So I've got Haaland as a premium striker. I've got Jesus as a mid-priced striker. I've got two £8 million strikers. I've got Salah as a premium midfielder. I've got a £5.5 million midfielder. And then I've got some good prices in defense as well. What you call this draft, right, is about as flexible as you can possibly get. I don't think you can really build a much more flexible draft than this. I've pretty much covered most of the major price points there. There are, of course, some major players missing, right? You've got Son missing, you've got Kulusevski, you've got James, you've got Cancelo missing, you've got Robertson. You're never going to be able to afford every player, though. And what you get here is you get a little bit of everything, right? You get good players at different price points and a lot of flexibility. So in my personal opinion, I don't think, and I know it's very boring to say a month before this, I don't think I'll be far off of this for my Game Week 1 team. It is a little bit, it's not a boring draft. It's a little bit of a sensible draft for sure. You can definitely go like massive at the back. But like I said, the issue with massive at the back and doing anything like that is that when you want to switch to a premium striker alongside Haaland, or you want to switch to two £8 million midfielders, it's very tricky to get that money out of the defence, I think. What do you guys think? Am I chatting a load of rubbish? Do you agree with me there about trying to be as flexible as possible and about price points? Jake says he's rocking 3 8 millers. I don't have an issue with that at all. To be honest, what you could do, let me just show you here. If you don't want Jesus and Neto, you could potentially go for Undav and an £8 million midfielder, right? So in this spot here, where you've got Jesus and Neto, if you went for Undav, you could go for 3 £8 million mids. Max says load of rubbish. Fair enough. Bench is weak. The bench is very weak, isn't it? Who do we think is the best £4.5 million midfielder, by the way? I've got De Silva at the moment, but I'm happy to hear whatever you guys think. By the way, Jesus is absolutely battering Saka at the moment, so there we go. Because of World Cup wildcard, flexibility is not as important at the start anymore, in my opinion. That's fair enough. 3 wildcards, so go hard early on. You don't have 3 wildcards. Let me just clear this up, by the way. You don't have 3 wildcards. What you're going to have is you're going to have 2 wildcards, and then in the few days that follow the World Cup, before the first game week back after the World Cup, you're going to have unlimited transfer. Right, so you're going to have unlimited transfers for that week, which is essentially a wild card, but they force you to use it in that week. So it's not just a random third wild card. It's unlimited transfers in that specific week. You'll have to play Trippier at Brighton in game week 2. That's all right. Don't have an issue with that. Holback, people are saying. Team is structured nice. You won't have to do a Raptor. Is a Raptor a massive hit? Is that, have we coined the term, a Raptor? Then all we're saying... Sorry, I was just doing a really complicated poll there. You're just hearing, just watching me zone in. Which combination do you prefer? This is a slightly tricky question. Think about it before voting. What I'm essentially saying is, do we like the structure in our team where we've got Gabriel Jesus as an 8 million striker and a £5.5 million mid, i.e. here we've got Neto? Or do you prefer a £5.5 million forward, i.e. someone like Undav, and then an £8 million mid. Let me know which combination you prefer, because that doesn't really change the structure too much. You've still got that price point at around 8 million. Johnny and Tomiyasu over Trippier and Patterson. I tell you what, Daniel, I don't mind that. That actually improves the bench as well, doesn't it? I do like Trippier, though. That's the issue we've got. Right, I do really like Trippier, but yeah, I agree that could be a nice sort of nice little change. Let's make that change. Did you forget about Son? I didn't forget about Son. It's just so tricky. If you want to get Haaland and Salah into a draft, trying to also get Kane or Son into a draft is impossible. Yeah, Frosty says, with so many options up front, Tony/Wilson, etc., I think locking funds in midfield might not be the best. I agree. Wait, I need to make this a little bit more pleasant to look at. What do we think of this draft now? Let's look at what are the issues with the draft. There's no Cancelo. I'd like to get Cancelo in there, but to do that, I have to downgrade one of Foden, Diaz, or Jesus. And I've said for obvious reasons, I don't want to do that for flexibility. But it does leave me, I guess, a bit inflexible in the defence. It's a tricky one, all right? I think maybe I'll move on to rating some of your guys' drafts. There are, by the way, if I just scroll up, 160,000 people have joined already. So there you go. 160,000 managers are already tinkering with their teams. I just want to give one more little plug as well to my league. How many pages of people have we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bloody hell. All right, we've got lots of pages. Let me do that. Let me go back here. If you want to join my mini league, if you're watching this now, if you're one of the 1,000 people watching, that's the code for the mini league. It is also pinned in the chat as well, but please do join the mini league. We want it to be the biggest and best mini league on YouTube. Let's pretend that Let's Talk Andy doesn't exist and that we're going to get the biggest and best possible. Also means you can use chips with that extra wildcard, right? I don't believe so. I'm actually not sure about that, but I think in the week where you have unlimited transfers, I doubt you'll be able... You might be able to play like your bench boost and triple captain, but you definitely won't be able to play like free hit and wildcard, obviously. I don't actually know. No Spursy players unsubbed. Please don't unsub because there's no Spurs players. Mr. Nathan Bacon. Everyone in the mini league can buy me a pint when I win this year. I like it. I like it a lot. Do that World Cup poll for £8 million mids. The issue is I don't know what pairs to put them in. And like if Diaz and Saka both go into a poll, invalid code entered. Please check the code. I think the code's fine. It is SV1 QTQ. Try it again. It should work. Says invalid code. Why does it say that? I've got no idea. It's definitely the code. Code is fine. Oh, okay. It's working for some people. It's not for others. Right. I'm going to... One sec. Let me work what I'm doing. Let's rate some of your drafts then. Let's move over to Twitter. I'm also just going to get the link for the stream in case anyone wants to join. You know how it is. I'll put the link in the chat, by the way. Don't worry. It works if you type it. Apparently, it's not working if you're copy-pasting it. I don't know why that's the case. Just don't copy-paste it then, right? Just type it in, SV1QTQ. If you're watching my stream, drop your latest drafts here and I'll roast them. Are there any other YouTubers streaming at the moment? FPL YouTubers, by the way, guys. Are there any other FPL YouTubers streaming at the moment? Because there's 1,000 people here, which is pretty insane, isn't it? What's the league name? It's just my YouTube channel. It's just my YouTube link. Get a bit of free publicity while I'm at it. Why not? What is Jesus' price? Jesus is coming in at 8 million, which is insane, right? 8 million. Super cheap. I thought Jay's... Bloody hell, got 40 already. Okay. What a perfect person to start with. We've got Scott. Is a Raptier member as well. Right, here we go. Man United's kit looks really weird on the app. Looks really, really weird on the app, doesn't it? We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Chilwell, Tomiyasu, Cancelo, and Mendy. So what Scott's getting is slightly more money invested into the defence. Then Salah, Diaz, Rashford, Neto, Haaland, Jesus. So what you've basically got there is my draft, but with a little bit more money in the defence. And then also he hasn't got two £8 million midfielders. So a little bit less flexible in the midfield, a little bit more flexible in the defence. I like that a lot. Good first draft. FPL Pot Noodle. We've got Raya, Trent, Perisic, James, Cancelo, Martinelli, Mount, Salah, Luis Diaz, Neto, and Haaland. I can't really fault that. And you've got Tomiyasu first sub, FPL Pot Noodle. I like that a lot. Martinelli and Neto. So two cheapies and then Mount and Diaz, 2/8s. I guess my only issue with this is I'm not a massive fan. Let me know in the chat, guys. Are you a fan or do you mind the two £4.5 million forwards? What are your views on that? What are your views on two £4.5 million forwards? I just think it's very inflexible. Why did Andy say there are 3 wildcards this season? There are 2 wildcards and you get unlimited transfers post-World Cup, which is basically a wildcard, but only usable in the week after the World Cup. Does that make sense? So it is still a wildcard, but you can't use it whenever you want. That's what I believe was the case. That might be incorrect. Let me know if I'm incorrect. Got another member as well. I've not actually planned this. We're getting all of the members come up at the top. I guess that's the people I interact with the most. We've got FPL Rengoku. We've got Raya, Trent, Cancelo, Chilwell, Perisic, Salah, Neto, Luis Diaz, Martinelli. Martinelli's getting a lot of love. Do we think that Martinelli is going to get game time? Is Martinelli going to be nailed? Is the unlimited transfers post-World Cup confirmed? It is indeed. Who was it? It was... I think it was Pranil tweeted it. Was it Pranil? Maybe it wasn't. Who tweeted it? I can't remember who tweeted it out, and I can't remember where to find it, but it was essentially... If anyone remembers who tweeted it, someone tweeted the caption, where it was from on the Fantasy Premier League on the rules. Got Aiden's draft. Very nice graphics, by the way. FPL Aiden. Got Laporte, Cancelo, Perisic, Trent. I assume you're a YouTuber, by the way. If you are, if this is a YouTube channel, go check out FPL Aiden. Show some support. Got Laporte, Cancelo, Perisic, Trent, James, Salah, Diaz, Neto, Martinelli, Haaland. I think that is a very template draft, but I like it a lot, right? And do you know what I like about this that isn't completely template? Is the double up on the City defense. City defense is always going to be fantastic value, isn't it? Always. Okay, Frosty's just typed it in on the chat. It says, unlimited free transfers can also be made between Saturday the 12th of November and Monday the 26th of December, when the Premier League season has been adjusted to accommodate for the FIFA World Cup. So there you go. For the entire period of the World Cup, so 2 weeks, we have unlimited transfers. There we go. It's on the rules tab. Let's have a look. Let me try and find it. Sorry, I'm going to go back to your teams. Where's the rules tab? This just shows you that I never check out the rules. Where's the rules tab? Help? Rules. Haha. Chips. No, is it in transfers? Where is it under here, guys? Help rules transfers. I was in transfers. Here we go. Here we go. Right, let me zoom in on that. What's that going to look like for you guys there? Oh, way too zoomed in. Oh, it's going to be a twat about it. What about if I do it like that? Here we go. Here we go. Live streaming with Ross. Here we go. Unlimited transfers. Free this is on the official site, just so that you guys can confirm that you know that it is official. Unlimited free transfers can also be made between Saturday the 12th of November and Monday the 26th at 1:30 when the Premier League season has been adjusted to accommodate the FIFA World Cup. So yes, it is like a third wildcard, but like I said, with normal wildcards, you play them when you want. In this case, you're forced to play it in a specific week. Right? At other times, you are limited to 20 transfers in a single game week, not including, obviously, your wildcard and free hit. So there we go. Do you think it's time to make a change in the FPL structure to reflect greater midfield strength, i.e. 6 midfielders and 2 forwards? Probably not, to be fair. Probably not. Do you think they're going to change the scoring system? No, if they were going to change the scoring system, it would have already been changed. We've got Sanchez in goal. First time I've seen Sanchez. Trent, Cancelo, Perisic, and Chilwell. Really nice back line there. ATFC Brady. Salah, Maddison. Again, I think Maddison, if I were to rank the £8 million mids, I think it would be Diaz as the best £8 million mid for me. And then potentially Foden. Oh, sorry. Sorry. 6 week period. Not a 2 week period. 6 week period from November to December. 6 weeks, not 2 weeks. Apologies. I think it would be Diaz, Foden, Maddison. Then maybe Mahrez. I think Maddison is probably my third favourite £8 million mid at the moment. Then maybe Saka. Do feel free to rank the £8 million mids, by the way. But I do really like Maddison. Ødegaard in there as well. And I think what will be a popular front two of Haaland and Jesus as well. So that's really, really nice in there. I really like that a lot. Very nice. Oh, we've got Wilson and Haaland in here. I do like, again, Wilson is my favourite 7.5. If you're not going to go for Jesus at 8, I think Wilson at 7.5 could be a really nice pick. Really, really nice pick. What's the best formation in your opinion? The best formation, in my opinion, is a 4-4-2 for flexibility. With respect to like getting the most value out of your players, I think probably a 5-4-1. Right, so if you want a flexible team, I think 4-4-2. But if you want to get the most value out of your starting 11, 5-4-1 looks really nice. Yeah, sorry, I even forgot about Mount. Mount's another great £8 million midfielder. This is the sort of team, if you're trying to get value out, like, right? Because I think the defenders are really good value. Tomiyasu, Trent, James, Cancelo, Chilwell, Neto, Salah, Saka, Diaz, and Haaland. That's a very nice, well-rounded team there, for sure. Saka is first by a long way. Interesting. I'm not sure. I think I prefer Gabby Jesus to Saka. This is the first team I've seen with Bruno G. Got a double up on Newcastle here. Bruno G and Trippier. Jesus and Haaland. Edison in goal. I like this draft. Bit different. Who is it? FPL Sieste. Very nice draft. Very different. Not very different. A little bit different, but different in the right places, I think. Is Melier being overlooked? I don't think so. I just think there's great value in like Mendy, De Gea, and Ramsdale at 5. And I think at 4.5, you go with Raya and Sanchez. What about Kulusevski at 8? I just worry a little bit with Kulusevski. He rotates with Mora. They've brought Richarlison in. I know Richarlison doesn't play on the right wing, but it does worry me slightly about Richarlison, to be honest. It does worry me slightly. FPL Bowen, very nice team. I want to see a team with Son. I'm going to keep scrolling. These are all very, very samey, aren't they? We see a team here with Kane. First or second time I've seen one with Kane. I do like the teams with Kane in. I still think I slightly prefer Haaland. We did do a poll and Haaland is favoured to Kane quite heavily still. But Kane's getting a little bit of love. Kane is getting a little bit of love for sure. That is a very nice team. Very well-rounded team. I want to see a team with Son. Show me a team with Son. Just scrolled through the first dozen replies and not a single Awonyi. Sort it out, Ross. Oh, dear. 11FI is not happy. He's not a happy man. Oh, there's... there you go. Someone's commented. Mike's commented one below. That's a nice team. I'll be honest. I love how you tried to pronounce my name. I'm so sorry. How do you pronounce it? Tell me phonetically how to pronounce it. I genuinely have no idea. I said he was from Hertha Berlin and he's from Union Berlin. That shows how much I know. There's got to be someone that has a Son draft. Here we go. Just like that. As if by magic. FPL Traore, FPL Adama has got one. Raya Perisic. Oh, it's a threemium draft. I tell you what, it's a nice threemium draft as well. So this has actually got Son, Salah, and Haaland. We've got Raya, Perisic, Trent, Tomiyasu, and Botman. Remember, we said Botman is probably one of the best £4.5 million defenders, especially at Newcastle as well. Wissa, Luis Diaz, Martinelli, Salah, and Son, and then Haaland. And he's got Dunk on the bench. I tell you what, if you're watching FPL Adama, FPL Traore, that is probably the best 3 premium draft I've seen. What do you guys think about this? What do we think of this threemium? I think it was who got the assist that coined the term threemium, by the way. What do we think about this? I'll be honest. Yeah, the defense is a little bit weak, isn't it? You're lacking Cancelo, you're lacking Chilwell, you're lacking James. But you have to sacrifice somewhere to get Son in. And this has still got Trent, Diaz, Salah, Son, and Haaland. You've still got a really strong 5 players there. Martinelli is easy to switch out if need be. Yeah, Martinelli worries me. Martinelli does worry me a little bit for sure. No Man City defence and no Chelsea defence. There's no Chelsea players, full stop. Wissa starting is an L. That could easily be Neto, couldn't it? The thing is, FPL Adama is a Wolves fan. So this might tell us that maybe Neto's not the pick we all think he would be. I'm asking him where Neto is. We'll come back to that. Check mine. I will check yours, but we have... Oh, my dear Lord. We have 196. I will try and get round to everyone's, truly, but it's probably not going to happen. Very nice team. FPL Thrill. Castagna. First time I've seen a Leicester defender. What do we think of the Leicester defenders? What do we think of the Leicester defenders? I don't mind them. I just worry that we've got Castagna, Pereira, Justin, Thomas. There are various players that can play out wide for Leicester. I do expect Leicester to have a good season, though, for sure. Ivan Toney's a decent pick, right? Ivan Toney at 7 million could be a nice pick. And Bernardo Silva. This is the first time I've seen Bernardo Silva. Is a very, very nice pick as well. I just worry how much game time's Bernardo Silva going to get. Obviously going to be rotated a little bit more this season. Gundogan's going to have to get more game time than last season. And of course, because Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne won't be playing in the false 9 this season, there's less chance of him playing every single game. It's too early for Leicester players, in my opinion. I probably agree with that. Maybe not from the start, but I like that draft a lot. We've got Beth's team here. Double up on the Chelsea defence again. Cancelo, Trent, Perisic, very heavy at the back, but very strong at the back as well. Neto, Barnes, Salah, Martinelli, Haaland, Rashford, and Undav on the bench. Beth, I think that might be a little bit too much money on the bench, but it's very strong. Still got 2 premiums, a lot of money in there. I guess my only worry about this, or my only concern, if you've been watching the rest of the stream, and if you're still watching now, I do think you need an £8 million player in there. The only thing that this team's missing is, again, if any of those 7 £8 million mids start smashing it, what is your plan to get them in? It's going to be at least 2 transfers you're going to have to make. So I wonder, can you downgrade Rashford or downgrade Martinelli and then upgrade the other one? Can you get an £8 million midfielder into there? By the way, if you are one of the 1,100 people watching, thank you very much. Our record on a stream is actually 1,200. So we're almost at a record stream in pre-season, which is absolutely mental. So thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe. Please do drop a like if you're enjoying the stream as well. I try not to bang on about it, but I do really appreciate it if you support the content. Slight variation of the meta template. It is very nice, very meta. It's just a little bit... I guess Edison's the only real deviation there from the meta template, I suppose. Alanga's a nice pick. Can we see your team? Yeah, I can quickly float back to my team, for sure. I can quickly float back to my team. There we go. That was the team that I built earlier. I'm not sure about double Wolves is the only thing here. But like, you can just chuck, like, if everyone's got an issue with double Wolves, you just chuck Tomiyasu in. just to recap, the reason that I've built this team is just for flexibility reasons, right? You've got Gabriel Jesus as a mid-price striker. You've got Diaz and Foden as two £8 million mids. You've got two premiums in there. You've got a little bit of money invested in the defence, but not too much money invested in the defence. For me, this is a well-rounded draft, decent bench. I'm happy with it for now. Yeah, that's my team anyway. What do you think about Darwin Nunez? Let me know in the chat. What do we think about Darwin? Is he going to start? Who's going to start? Jota, Darwin? Who is going to be the starting striker for Liverpool? Michael is asking in the chat. How come you don't have Son? There's just too many players to own. There's always, if I have Son, they'll be like, why don't you own Cancelo? If I have that, why don't you own Haaland? There's always going to be a someone that you don't own, unfortunately. With respect to my opinion on it, I think Jota's still the starting striker, and I think he'll ease Darwin in. I think Jota will start most of the games at the start of the season, and then Darwin will come in and be rotated in a little bit. But I am interested to hear Liverpool fans. Go on then, me old Sterling buddy. Yeah, FPL Johnson brought in Sterling at the same point that I did. Perisic, Cancelo. Okay, this might be the first Robbo-Trent double up. Maybe not. Robbo-Trent double up rather than Diaz. So one of the first people to favour Robertson here. Then we've got Saka and Mount. Like I said, I love this because it's got two £8 million midfielders. Neto, Salah, Undav and Haaland. I'll tell you what, there's no major issue with that at all. It's basically mine, but more money in defence and no Gabriel Jesus. I don't dislike it. It might be worth sacrificing Jesus to go for a slightly better defence. Because that is a much better defence than mine, to be honest. He's got Robbo and Cancelo. I don't have either of those. The only thing I'd say you're not missing, FPL Johnson, but potentially there's no Chilwell and there's no James. So maybe you want to add a Chelsea defender into there. Maybe. FPL Diz. Okay. This is another 3 premium draft, and it's another very nice one. Robertson, Laporte, Chilwell, Tomiyasu, Janssen, Salah, Saka, Son, Neto, and Haaland. So this is interesting because not only has FPL Diz managed to get 3 premiums, he's also got an £8 million midfielder in there, but doesn't have Trent or Cancelo. It's not a huge issue. Robertson can potentially cover. I wonder if there's a way you can still get Trent in there. I do like this, though. That's another really nice 3 premium draft. How do we send those in? On my Twitter, but there's too many already, unfortunately, to get through. You might be lucky enough that it will pop up at the top of my timeline, but it went from everyone having Ronaldo to no one putting him in. I don't know if everyone had Ronaldo, did they? I don't know, but I like FPL Diz's team. That is a very nice team. What is Doherty's status? Not fully fit, but looks like he could be fit to start the season. The issue is that Spurs have Emerson Royale. They are apparently looking to sell him, but they are also looking to pick up Jed Spence or another right back. So why Neto, not Neves? Neves just isn't really an FPL player. Doesn't get high enough up the pitch, really, does he? Doesn't get enough attacking returns. With the draft on the screen, I like Robbo to Trent and Laporte to Perisic. There we go. That could be a way to get Trent in. 0.5 million extra for Trent, but you can downgrade Laporte to Perisic. Why can't I join the league? Apparently, it doesn't work if you copy it, but if you type the code in yourself, it works for some reason. Just type in SV1QTQ. Yeah, even if he plays, his threat is not great. Always goes to Salah left wing. Yeah. Oh, this is nice. It's a nice different draft there. Got the double up on the Chelsea defence. This doesn't have 2 premiums, though. Right, so in this, there's only 1 premium. Lots of expensive players around sort of 8.5. Got like Bowen, Diaz, Foden, Wilson, Jesus. But there's only 1 premium. And this is a similar thing for me. Remember I said that I think it's worth having 2 8 millions because then you have flexibility in your squad. I think there's a similar issue here. If Son, Kane, De Bruyne, Haaland, Salah, all of these players smash it and you want a second premium, there's no easy way for you to get onto a second premium here. So I wonder if it's worth... I personally think 2 premiums is the perfect balance. 3 premiums you end up sacrificing. 1 premium just leaves you inflexible to change those premiums around if you want to. What do you guys think of this sort of 1 premium draft? Is it risky going Robbo instead of Trent? Eye test looks like Robbo is more of a goal threat. I don't mind it. I personally won't, though. I personally prefer Trent. His numbers are just significantly better. Yes, Robbo at points has had higher expected goals, but you need to take them as an entirety, and Trent's expected assist is like 0.4. So, yeah, I agree. The lack of flexibility for me is the big thing. Michael says there used to be 4 million players last year, right? Yeah, there still is, but only defence. There's only ever been £4 million defenders, or at least since I've played. It's another nice draft. I'm just going to skip over a few that look very similar. I'm going to try and look for some different drafts, okay? Very, very, very sorry if I skip over your draft. It just means it looks good. If it doesn't look good, I'll roast you. These are all really, really nice drafts. You can see that there's quickly a template emerging, though, right? Do you guys think so? As you're watching this, are you seeing this and thinking there's a clear template emerging? Or is it just me? By the way, thank you, Amir K. Thank you very, very much for becoming a Rap Tier 1 member. If you drop me a private message, I'll add you into our private channel. I'll also add you into our private mini league. And obviously, you can send me your team whenever you want. If you guys are wondering what the perks are of being a Rap Tier 1 member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can do it via Patreon. It'll be floating right over my head. You basically get tons of perks. But thank you, Amir K, for becoming a member. What do we think? Is there a template emerging? By the way, template, I'm sort of looking at my team's fairly template, but this sort of thing here. It's a really nice team, though, FPL Tyler. It's just, I've seen a lot of it at the moment, and I want to see something a little bit different. I wonder what I can do to spice up the template. Yeah, again, I mean, if you scroll through these teams, they're almost identical. Gerber has perfectly summed that up. There's only like 20 players that everyone's using. I agree. It's not the same 11. It's a very small pool of players that we're pulling from there. And it's because they've underpriced certain players. Like these premium players, it shouldn't be this easy to get Cancelo, Trent, James, Chilwell all into a team. They've made it a little bit too easy, I think. It's more of the same, more of the same. Come on, someone spice it up for me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is spicy. Is there a Patrons mini league? Yeah, there is. It's for YouTube members and Patrons as well. It's everyone in one because it's the same thing. It's the same price across both platforms. So if you join Rap Tier 1, you get entered into our Patreon league. There's going to be monthly prizes and there's going to be prizes at the end of the season. Classic football shirt, giveaways of my book and other things as well. So definitely make sure to join that. I love this. This is cheeky. I mean, no Salah is obviously a slight issue, right? But Kane, Jesus and Haaland, that's a heavy front line, but it's a good one as well. It's a really nice one. Luis Diaz and Saka in midfield's nice. And then Ricardo, Perisic, Chilwell, Robertson, James. I tell you what, this is a super nice draft. What do you guys think? I'm interested to see what the chat think. Who is this? It's The End Pod. The End Pod. I like it. What do we think? Check mine if you want to see something different. Yeah, I'll just keep scrolling, to be honest, guys. I'm not going to specifically highlight. I'm not going to try and look through for specific people. Come on, you can't go without Salah and Trent. Too spicy. Maybe it's a little bit too spicy. Frosty says it's fun but too inflexible. It is inflexible, but it is fun, isn't it? Yeah, see, it's getting a lot of love. Well done. I like it. This is it. Think critically, think differently. I encourage everyone to try and do something slightly different. Not too different. I suppose the only major difference here is if you turned Kane into Salah, it's pretty much everyone else's team, right? The only major difference here is that you've gone for 2 premium strikers rather than a premium midfielder and a premium striker. Nice and aggressive could work with an early wildcard. Yeah, it is. If you're someone that wildcards early, I like that a lot. Good job. Nice team. So we've got a Salah-less draft here again. First time I've actually seen Kulusevski. Not a lot of people are favouring Kulusevski at the moment, but I think Kulusevski could be a decent pick. Hey, Raptor. Andreas Pereira to Fulham, £4.5 million midfielder. Yeah, we've spoken about him. I mean, I'm a Manchester United fan, so I know all too well what Andreas Pereira is like. How do you make a league? Please help. Just go into the leagues part at the top, create a league. It will generate a code, and then you send that code to people. Yeah, this has got a nice bench as well, this team. But, again, it's only 1 premium. There's no Salah. Rumours are that Pereira has accepted Fulham's offer. He could be the go-to £4.5 million midfielder then. Does Gallagher get into the Chelsea team? Great price. I don't think so, no. Not the starting 11 at least. Not the starting 11, at least. Again, sorry if I'm skipping over your teams. I'm just trying to look for something different. Okay, here we go. Darwin. It's the first team I've seen with Darwin in there. And Christensen of Leeds. A little bit different here. 2 different picks. Edison in goal. Again, Edison's been quite popular, and I don't necessarily blame people. Edison's a nice, cheapish way into the Man City defence. Do you make your videos as made for kids? Not as made for kids, no. Because they're not made for kids. If you do made for kids, you start popping up with kids' channels. I think. I can't remember what my settings are. Can I share your league code, please, to Insta? Go for it, FIFA.m. Yeah, please, share the code around. I want as many as people to join as possible. Hey, Raptor, I sent my team. Will you see it? I might see it. I'm scrolling through now, guys. Corey's just become a member. Thank you very much. That's the 5th person that has joined the Raptier family. If you want to join a brilliant community, genuinely, becoming a member is worth it. I promise you. I would not say it if it wasn't. It really is. Also, I've just seen with this bench, you've got way too much money invested on the bench is the only thing there. You've got Johnson, Elise, and Gordon. You don't need 3 players. And you've got Raya. You've got basically like a really strong like bench boost there. You probably don't need to go that heavy. I'll be completely honest. That's actually reminded me. In a second, we'll build a bench boost draft. It's just reminded me. I think who was I speaking to? Was it Frosty? Someone I was speaking to earlier about building a game week 1 bench boost draft could be a really nice idea. Just get the bench boost out the way. Bin it off game week 1. Because last season, it caused me more hassle than it actually gained me anything. By the way, if you join Raptier 1, send me a private message on Twitter or something. I'll drop you a follow and I'll get you added to the chat. Just drop me a message on Twitter. Yep, really nice team. More of the same, I guess. Cheeky trying to drop your league code in there, getting a bit of free promotion. Surely bench boost when we can make unlimited transfers. Can you play the bench boost in that week? I didn't actually check. How many members do you currently have? We currently have 79 members. There are 50-something Raptier 1 members, and then we've got like 20 to 25 Raptier 2 members. So most people just go for the Raptier 1 member. Steve says, am I still a member or do I need to renew? Yeah, you're still a member, Steve, because you've got the little badge next to your name. Yeah, so we've got about 79 members. What was I doing? Sorry. I was saying something important. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you can bench boost when you're playing when you've got your unlimited transfers. If you can, that might be a really good play, actually. Although coming back from the World Cup, how much are we expecting rotation and stuff? Maybe it's not the best week to play it. With game week 1, you just get out of the way. There's not going to be as many like benchings due to like fatigue and stuff. It's the start of the season. They should start with their strongest teams. Fabrizio just confirmed Pereira to Fulham. Did he? Why am I not... And he's having a pint. Good on him. He works hard for it. Good on him. There we go. Here we go. Exclusive news. Andreas Pereira to Fulham. Here we go. Full agreement in place on players' side. 3-year deal with option for further season. Manchester United will receive 10 million plus 3 million add-ons. Deal was already agreed between clubs last week. Now it's all set to be done. Love to see it. Here we go. He's the £4.5 million. Fabrizio, the tap-in merchant, has delivered. He's not just a tap-in merchant, by the way. A lot of the time he is, but sometimes he does get slightly exclusive news. Let's move over and get Andreas Pereira in then. So he's still going to be in a Manchester United kit for now, but let's get Andreas Pereira in. You guys should do this as well. I think he's going to be he's Andreas, isn't he? The £4.5 million midfielder to own. The most points he's ever scored in a season is 60, but didn't receive that many minutes. And if you remember in this season, we actually played him in central defensive midfield a few times, which he's just really not. Andreas Pereira is an attacking midfielder. He can play on either wing. I don't know exactly where he's going to play for Fulham. I don't even know what formation Fulham line up in. What formation do Fulham line up in, guys? I can have a bit of a guess as to where Andreas Pereira is going to fit in. Make transfer. Sorry, De Silva. There we go. We've got our £4.5 million mid. Is going to be Andreas Pereira. Obviously, Fulham don't have the best fixtures, but I do still think that he might be the best option in there. Fulham play 11 at the back. Excellent. They play a 4-2-3-1. So he can play anywhere across that three then. He can play a central attacking midfield or he can play on either wing as well. Andreas literally fills the Carvalho-shaped hole. Yeah, so he's going to be out on the wing. No Spurs players. Yeah, I don't have any Spurs players at the moment, unfortunately. I could get Perisic in instead of Laporte, to be honest, but I want a City defender, to be honest. You can see I've got triple City, triple Liverpool. They're the best two teams in the league. I've got triple City, triple Liverpool for a reason. He'll play in the number 10. Oh, does Carvalho play in the number 10? Okay, sorry. Again, my knowledge of the Championship's really poor. So he's going to play in the number 10. Perfect. Why Laporte over Diaz? Just has better attacking threat. But like I said, that could be Perisic. And if we get Perisic, we can also afford Trippier. Let me put that in the poll. Tomiyasu. I genuinely cannot believe there are this many people watching me on a pre-season stream, but thank you very much if you are here. If you are new, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. We're trying to hit 20,000 subscribers before the start of the season, which is super optimistic. But if as many of you, 1,000 of you that are watching now do subscribe, that will push us a little bit closer. So I do really appreciate the support and thank you. Laporte and Diaz / and Tomiyasu or... how do you change formation? You just move a midfielder in for a forward and it switches the formation for you. Sorry, I forget that there are people that are completely new to FPL. I do apologise if I just assume knowledge. You'll get used to FPL really quick. If you're watching this and you're completely new to FPL, you'll get used to it so quickly. It's a really easy game to play. It really is. I've just put a poll in the chat, guys. If you could please vote on it. Let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer Laporte and Tomiyasu, or do you prefer Perisic and Trippier? Because there's the same price there. It does mean if I go Perisic and Trippier, though, I've got no City defence. And City are the best defence in the league. Wow, you've copied the other big FPL YouTubers draft hard. Have you considered that potentially we're just selecting the best players? And that I haven't copied anyone else. If you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know I'm not a copycat at all. I do my own thing. Actually, sometimes to my detriment, I do my own thing. Can you rate drafts, please? Yeah, we'll go back to that in a second. I wanted to build a bench boost game week 1 draft in a second as well. It's 50-50 at the moment. Laporte and Tomiyasu, Perisic and Trippier, 50-50. Make sure keep voting in the chat. Where is Cancelo, mate? Good question. I can't afford him with this current structure. Trips is on penalties. Surely it's Callum Wilson on penalties. Do you genuinely think Trippier is going to be on penalties? I'm sure it'll be Callum Wilson. What about Tomiyasu and Jesus versus Perisic and Tony? Nah, I want Jesus. It's genuinely 50-50 still. This poll in the chat is still 50-50. Yeah, Trippier's not on penalties. I don't think so, no. Keep voting in the poll. Let's have a look what it looks like. So, as I was saying, rather than Laporte and Tomiyasu, or even Laporte and Johnny, who do you prefer from Johnny and Tomiyasu? I can bin off either of them. Maybe I keep Tomiyasu and I get rid of Johnny. Because Wolves haven't been great, have they? They weren't last season. Maybe I don't have Johnny. What do we think? Get rid of Johnny, bin off Johnny. Okay, bin off Johnny. Trippier and Cucurella. I'm just not sure at the moment about the Cucurella and Walker. I just don't know who's going to start the majority of games for Man City at the moment. So I think for now, I'm going to go against that. That's true. Oh, sorry, to whistle. We could go for Doherty. If Doherty's fit, you could get Doherty and another 5.5 million pound. There aren't many 5.5 million pound defenders, though, are there? Really, to be honest. Is Cucurella all but confirmed then? No, I don't think so, actually. There's been a lot of rumours, but I haven't seen anything recently. Who's more nailed, Johnny or Aït-Nouri? This is a great question. So Wolves fans, please correct me if I'm wrong. Essentially, they're both left backs, right? Or left wing backs. Johnny and Aït-Nouri will both play on the left in their strongest 11. Semedo plays right back / right wing back. But Semedo is currently injured. And it looks like Semedo will not be fit to start the season. As a result, because Johnny's right-footed, Johnny will fill in at right wing back / right back, and Aït-Nouri will play at fullback. So, as far as I know, both Aït-Nouri and Johnny should both start the season. When Semedo comes back, I genuinely don't know which of them is more likely to play out of Johnny and Aït-Nouri. So, I guess Johnny's flexibility could be a good thing and a bad thing. Because when Semedo's back, maybe Johnny's kept to cover Aït-Nouri and Semedo. So maybe Aït-Nouri's the one. You've also got Kilman at 4.5 as well. Maybe Kilman's the safer of the picks. Marçal is sold. Yeah, they don't have Marçal, but that doesn't really change too much, to be honest. What am I doing? Trippier. Johnny and Mitchell rotate very well, DJ Hammer says. Interesting. I've got a video coming out very soon on rotations, by the way. That's a slightly different draft, getting Perisic and Trippier in there instead of Laporte and Tomiyasu. And then Tomiyasu drops to the bench. I don't mind that at all. Got Tomiyasu and Andreas Pereira as two decent subs. Of course, once Andreas Pereira goes to Fulham. I really like that team. I do want a Manchester City defender, though. I guess I could just go for Cucurella or Walker instead of Trippier and just hope that they start. But I just think Trippier on free kicks and corners could be really nice. Yep, we've already got Andreas Pereira. I've just seen a load of people in the chat telling me to put him in. He's already second sub. Obviously, he's in a Manchester United kit because he still plays for Manchester United. But once he goes to Fulham, could be a really, really nice pick. You will end up with one City defender before game week 1, pal. I absolutely agree with you, FPL Gaza. I'm not going to dispute that at all. I'm going to find a way to get a City defender in. It probably is Jesus. It's probably Jesus that's got to give. Like Jesus down to Wilson. Right, Jesus down to Wilson allows me to get Laporte or Diaz back in here. Even if we go for Diaz, like, it really doesn't matter. Pereira, Patterson and Greenwood feels like the best bench. Maybe upgrade Patterson if you can afford to. Yeah, maybe. You should look at Ederson. Yeah, maybe it's Ederson. Maybe that's the spot that we need. So if we don't want Jesus, what do we think of that? Perisic and Jesus or Diaz and Wilson? I mean, I like Jesus as an option, but equally, I do like Callum Wilson as well. Keep Perisic, get Ederson. Let's go back here. How do I get Ederson then? I need to find 1 million. I think Jesus to Tony makes the most sense if I want to try and get Ederson in. Or Foden down to Grealish again. Or even Perisic to a £4.5 million defender. Perisic back to Johnny would allow me to go Ederson. Brighton signed a winger called... I personally think he will start on only 5 million. Okay. He won't be in the game yet then, will he? Lyle Tyler is better than Greenwood. Is he? Who does he play for? He's not. Am I searching for the wrong player? Oh, Taylor. Okay, it was a typo. Lyle Taylor. Yeah. Could go for him then. I don't think he's going to get a mass... And Cisco is in the game. Oh, okay. Apologies. Let me just search all players then. Okay, this is the guy in Cisco. Julio and Cisco. Apparently, what did you say about him? Let me go back to what you said. Brighton signed a winger called Julio and Cisco and personally think he will start on only 5 million. So we could have a better pick here for 5 mil if you can upgrade slightly from 4.5 mil. That might be a nice shout. So I think if we want Ederson, it would have to be at the expense of either Perisic to a 4.5 or Jesus to Tony / Johnson, like a cheaper defender, forward. What do you think? Leon Bailey is at 5 million too. Yeah, could be a decent shout for sure. Who will have Arsenal's penalties? That's a great shout. A great point to raise. I don't know. Probably Saka. Lyle Taylor was loaned out to Birmingham. It's a trap. Okay. Why not Mahrez, who can play on that right side since Jesus left and Sterling is about to leave? Bernardo didn't play right wing at all last season. Well, the reason Bernardo didn't play right wing last season is because they had Jesus and Mahrez. Foden can play right wing though. So I think Grealish and Foden could quite easily start either side of Haaland. When do you think you'll wildcard? I tend to wildcard around sort of like game week 8, game week 9, but I haven't really given it that much thought, to be honest. Perisic is 33 years old and won't play every game and may not even get 60 minutes. Cool. You don't have to convince, I'm happy to downgrade there. So if we want Ederson, we can do it that way. That feels really weak in defence, but I guess Ederson's in there. So we've got Ederson, Chilwell, Trent, Trippier, Tomiyasu, and then Foden, Neto, Diaz, Salah, Haaland, and Jesus. I think Fornals is a better option than Neto. Maybe. Would you guys be interested in trying to build a game week 1 bench boost? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know about my camera. I appreciate you all very, very much. You're very kind. It will be like 30 seconds and then I'll be back. I don't even know if you guys are looking at me. You probably prefer the draft. You probably prefer the stream when you can't see my face, to be honest. Would you like me to take a look at a bench boost draft, or is that not of interest? Is there any sort of draft that you're very interested in seeing me build? I'm happy to give different drafts a go. Or would you rather me jump back and rate some of your drafts? We'll probably only go for another sort of 10 minutes. Bench boost, yes. Been thinking about it myself. Yes, bench boost. Okay, cool. Let's have a go at a bench boost draft. So what we'd probably do, let's kick Ederson down because you need to go a little bit more money on the team, on the bench. Right. So I think the Wolves players are great shouts because they obviously have really nice fixture in game week 1. Let me check the fixtures actually. Fixtures in game week 1. So what teams have a decent fixture in game week 1? We've got what teams with cheaper players? Newcastle, decent against Nottingham Forest. I don't mind Wolves against Leeds. Even Leeds against Wolves isn't terrible. Aston Villa against Bournemouth is a nice opening day fixture. Are we overlooking Son or Kane? It's not a matter of overlooking them. It's just that you can't literally afford everyone. And at some point, you have to make a sacrifice. I understand what you're saying, though. Should we have them in our team? I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I genuinely don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Sorry. Right, transfers. So maybe instead of Trippier, we go Botman. Just save a little bit. We'll go Raya. The thing is, we're going to have to go for a playing keeper. So what are the 4.5 keepers? Or do you go Mendy and Raya? Is that a bit too much money to invest Mendy and Raya? Who did Palace play? Arsenal. Everton play Chelsea. Could go Dubravka. Oh, no, they've got Pope now, haven't they? Of course they have. What do you guys think? Ray and Henderson? Yeah, could go Hendo. playing against Newcastle. It's not a terrible fixture. What do you think about Mount? Yeah, I don't mind Mount at all. Mount's a very good option, for sure. Then let's get... So the issue is, because this is a bench boost game week 1, we need to go for nailed players. So maybe Foden's not the one to go for, especially against West Ham. It's not the best fixture. Maybe Foden, you try and go for a more nailed on player. So nailed on £8 million. Maddison? What's their game week 1 fixture? Yeah, Maddison could be a decent shout. Saka, could try and get Saka in there. We're probably not going to be able to go for Gabby Jesus, though. That's the thing. Kulusevski does have... The thing, yeah, Kulusevski could be the one, you know, because Richarlison is suspended. So unless they're going to start more, I would expect Kulusevski to start game week 1. Havertz in for Jesus. I don't think I want Havertz particularly. You want Havertz? He's the same price as Jesus, though. We're building a bench boost game week 1 team. If you've just joined, by the way, we're trying to build a bench boost game week 1 team. So we need all of our players to be playing. Realistically, we're not going to want Andreas Pereira in there, particularly. Johnson could be decent. We do have Botman, though, so they're almost playing against each other. Or even their new signing. Is it Awoniyi? Awoniyi? This guy here. Bench boost game week 1 is just not on. Well, we're looking at that. That's what we're doing now. It causes a lot of people stress later on in the season, to be honest. So if there is a way that we can get rid of it a little bit earlier. Bench boost in game week 1 is mental. So if you bench boost in game week 1 last season, you smashed it. Literally, my whole timeline was full. People were getting like 15 to 20 points. And to be honest, a bench boost is only going to get you... Like last season, I smashed my bench boost and it got me 26 points. That's not... Like it's not game changing. And sometimes just getting rid of it early can allow you to focus on your team, especially if you're going for an early wildcard. Bench boost game week 1 early wildcard is a genuine strategy. Do you think Haaland is essential? Maybe not essential, but I'll be honest, he has been in pretty much all of my drafts. So maybe I do think he's essential. I'm struggling a little bit. Maybe if we go mad like to Sancho. I'll be honest, the team doesn't look great. It's just the budget is the issue. That it's difficult to get. Yeah, Coutinho. I like that, actually. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're well. Finally, the game has launched. We've been streaming for bloody ages. I wasn't planning on streaming for this long, but here we are. So we've got 6 million. 6 million on a bench boost 1 player. Bench boost game week 1 player. 6 mil. Maybe it is Martinelli. We probably expect Martinelli to start game week 1, right? Although Crystal Palace isn't the easiest fixture. James Justin instead of Botman. Do you think Justin's going to play? I think it could be Castagna and Ricardo Pereira. It's not great, is it? Bruno G. Yeah, Bruno G could be the one. We do have Henderson in goal. Bit of a clash, but not the worst thing in the world. Oh, the new bench boost graphic is horrific. What are they doing? Oh, that's horrible. Did you see that? When you click play bench boost, it's just a really ugly line around the bench. It used to be really cool. It used to come up like dark mode around your players. Now it just comes up with a horrible, horrible line around your bench. Anyway, the bench would be... I mean, it's not a terrible bench. It would be something like that if I were bench boosting it. Your bench would be something like Henderson, Awoniyi, Botman, Tomiyasu. It's not terrible at all, but it's not great, to be honest. I'm not a massive fan. Let's go back to what we had. Let's go, let's quickly default back to what we had, because I liked that draft a lot, and I think that'd be a nice way to sort of leave it with the. I think Tomiyasu was in it, right? We had Trent. Maybe we'll keep Botman in there. Don't know. Callum Wilson's better than Tony for game week 1. I agree, but he's also 0.5 million more, isn't he? How about Watkins? I don't mind Watkins at all, but again, I do probably prefer Wilson or Jesus. Would you prefer having Mendy and Cancelo or Ederson and Chilwell? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. What do you think, chat? Mendy and Cancelo or Ederson and Chilwell? Is Perisic essential? Definitely not. No. Oh, what am I doing? Andreas. Is Gibbs White going to be a regular? I think he'll get minutes. I don't know if he's going to be a regular as such. Get Ederson to cover the City defence. We looked at a draft with Ederson, but it just looked a little bit weak. Mendy, probably the best goalkeeper option, only 5 million. Yeah, Mendy is a decent goalkeeping option for sure. Who's the backup Bees keeper, by the way? I didn't even look. Is there a 4 million backup Brentford keeper? Yeah, we'll just put the backup keeper in rather than Still. Raya and Bowen or Mendy and Diaz? Mendy and Diaz, 500%. 1 billion%. I've got 2 million to spare. Why do I have 2 million to spare? Who have I left out of this draft? Are you spending all of your 100 million going into game week 1? I like to leave 0.5, but I never actually end up leaving 0.5, to be completely honest. So I don't know. Yeah, it was a City defender. I'm 0.5 short on Cancelo. Guys, how can I find 0.5? How do you feel about Rashford and Sancho? Is it too risky? Maybe. We'll see what happens in pre-season. We'll come back. We'll do more streams and we'll have a think. I'd love to get Cancelo in the draft. I could put Sancho in instead of Foden. Foden to Sancho would work. Chilwell to Trippier and Raya to Mendy. Don't mind that. Although I do really want Chilwell or James. Jesus to a 7.5 probably makes the most sense. Foden to Grealish, Raya to Mendy, swap Chilwell, Tomiyasu, Trent down to Robbo. Oh, I don't want to do that. Ward-Prowse instead of Foden. It is probably Foden, isn't it? Foden's the place. Do I have an opportunity to get one of my boys in? One of my Manchester United players in? Not bad. Not bad. I think that's what you have to do. That's what you have to sacrifice if you want Cancelo in there instead of. I'm just thinking, rather than Cancelo, how much is? I think I prefer that. What do you guys prefer? Ederson and Reece James, or Raya and Cancelo? Let's do that. This is going to be the final poll. And this is going to be how we leave the team for now. And then we're going to be back with loads of videos and loads of live streams. Right? I've just chucked a poll in the chat. Let me know what you think. Raya and Cancelo or Edison and James? I mean, we could even go like Edison and Diaz, to be fair. Like, could go double up on the City defence that way. Oh, it's going to be one of those polls where it's 50-50. How do I join the chat without Twitter? What do you mean join the chat? Oh, you want to join our private chat? The private chat's on Discord, so you can message me on Discord if you want to, Amir. Or email me. I basically just need to get you onto our Discord and I need to get you your role upgraded. So just find a way to contact. Bloody hell, these 50-50... It means I'm giving you good dilemmas and good decisions to make, right? The fact that almost every poll has been 50-50. Raya and Cancelo is just about winning at the moment. Okay, fair enough. Raya and Cancelo because I own them and I'm an expert. There you go. That's conclusive, I think. That's conclusive enough. Raya and Sanchez rotate perfectly and play 6 promoted sides in 10 game weeks. Yeah, they do rotate quite well. For sure. I want Foden instead of Sancho. A lot. I really want Foden instead of Sancho. I want an 8 million player here. Just can't quite do it. Can't quite do it, and it's really frustrating me. I guess Jesus to Wilson's the only way to do it. Sancho and Jesus, or Wilson and Foden. Saka. Yeah, you could go for Saka if you want. Yeah, I suppose, actually. Could go Saka and Wilson. Hi, Tom. Good to see you in the chat, my man. Stream's ending soonish, but good to see you anyway. Yeah, could do that. Could go Saka in here. And then Wilson in here. Weak bench here is the only negative. Yeah, it's not a very weak bench, but it is a pretty weak bench, to be honest, isn't it? That's all right. It's not too bad, is it? I don't know. You get Raya, you get Trent, Chilwell, and Cancelo. You get 2 Arsenal players in Tomiyasu and Saka. You still get Salah, Diaz, Neto, Haaland, Wilson. A little bit weak on the bench. No Gabby Jesus, but generally I don't mind. I don't mind that team. I think that's a fairly decent place, considering we've still got exactly a month, pretty much to the hour, until game week 1 starts. I don't think there's too much to stress about for now. I think that's a pretty good place. I agree that the big issue with this is the weak bench and probably the absence of Spurs in there. There's absolutely no Spurs players, but we can work on that. It might be, I think Cancelo down to Laporte or Diaz and then upgrading the bench is probably the best way to do it. I mean, everyone's battering my bench. Do you know what? If everyone's going to batter the bench before we go, Cancelo can go down to... We'll go Diaz. It doesn't really matter. I'm floating between Diaz and Laporte, to be completely honest. That gives us $1 million to upgrade the defence. The bench, I should say. So we can go for a £4.5 million defender in someone like... It can be anyone we want. Who needs a bench anyway? It's true. There you go. Is that better? Is that a better draft? Now we've got Johnny first sub, or that could be any £4.5 million. And actually, we've got 0.5 in the bank, I believe. This is it. This is the draft for now. Okay, guys. So 0.5 million in the bank. A 4-4-2 for flexibility. So just run back through it. You've got a mid-priced striker, which is nice. You've got 2 £8 million midfielders, which is a slot which I think is going to be very, very useful. Neto in there as the cheap player. Salah in there for captaincy. You've got Trent, Chilwell, and Diaz. You're covering the 3 best defences in the league. Maybe bar Tottenham, who could potentially be in there next season. Tomiyasu to cover the Arsenal defence, and Raya in goal. What do we think? Final thoughts on that? I'm not going to change anymore. I think I'm fairly happy with that. I think I'm fairly happy. By the way, I'm off to Italy at the end of this week for 8 or 9 days for an academic conference. If you guys don't know, I'm a lecturer in sports psychology. I'm also doing a PhD as well. So I'm presenting some of my research in Padova in Italy. So I'm I have to pre-record loads of content because I'm in Italy for 8 days. So I am off on holiday on Saturday. But you won't know any different. I will pre-record some very, very good videos for you without a shadow of a doubt. There'll be videos every couple of days. Just a final reminder that you can join my league. The code is SV1QTQ. It's pinned in the chat. It's also the top. If you're watching this back as a video, it's at the top of the description. Apparently, when you copy paste it in, it says invalid code, but when you type in the code, it works. So just type in the code SV1QTQ and join my league. We're going to try and make it as big of a league as possible. Try and do some stuff for charity across the season associated with the league as well. I think we're going to leave it there then. So I'm just going to switch to this and just do my little outro. Thank you very much for joining. If you are one of the people here that is yet to subscribe and yet to like the stream, both of those things are completely free for you to do. So please like the stream, please subscribe. I will be back probably tomorrow or Thursday with more content, more streams. There is going to be so much to see on this channel. Please do support the channel by liking and subscribing. But until next time, guys, thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.